like comparing world travel in like the 1700s compared to
Super Earth,
like
our
nowadays.
Prosperity.
Okay, my PlayStation has elected to converse with my controller again.
Democracy.
So,
Happy day.
Our way of life.
cool.
I'm good. I'm gonna see how we sound in a moment.
I'm gonna leave this party and invite me on PS4.
What? What? You're gonna leave this party? No. What?
Invite me on PS4.
What?
I don't want to.
What? You're gonna leave this party? But you sounded great. Okay. All right. Just rejoin the party. Oh, okay. Got you.
Unless you make the most important decision of
Goodbye.
your life.
Bye.
Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free.
Join the Helldivers.
Become part of an elite peacekeeping force.
See exotic new life forms.
That gives me time to do the thumb. I just got a reminder about Aliens with Archie 2 for tomorrow, so I'll do that one day before.
Throughout the galaxy.
Before.
Become a hero.
I'll do the thumbnail for
Become a
this.
legend. Become
Right here.
a Helldiver.
It's not gonna show you today. Guess I can't. Can you join? No. I'm not playing the game. I'm doing a podcast today. Oh, bless you. No, I'm doing something different. Sorry about that. This is colonizing space. Yeah. It's what I've done on Fridays, previous Fridays. But Brad needs an invite back, so hold on. Brad, where are you? There he is. Nope, that's not who I want to invite. I want to invite Brad. Oh no, he's invited me to a party. Hold on. Hi. Getting Brad on the what?
Huh?
Hi.
Hi.
Getting Brad on the call? Yes. Yes, Bruce. Just still setting up my stream. So now I gotta readjust you again. Hold on. Yeah, I want him louder. And then the game sound.
Test.
Okay, let me.
Do not adjust your set.
I stopped to set my stream. I'm sorry, guys. Bruce says we need the beautiful voice of Brad. Wow. I stopped to set my tag, so please hold. Well, you could intro the topic or whatever you want to do while I'm trying to get this set up. I'm sorry.
I can open a bottle of wine instead.
That sounds like a good idea too. Yeah, let's relax and do it.
This week sucked at work, so I'm glad it's Friday.
My goodness, he's just like, why even pour just drink it straight from the bottle? It sounds like, he's having wine tonight. Wow, we might get a fun Brad.
Your mileage may vary.
Well, hold please. Okay, yeah, you're fine. Drinking straight out of the bottle sounds depressing. Yeah, that's why he's not doing it, Bruce. He's doing it the fancy way. You know?
Yeah, because somehow the extra decanting process somehow rids you of the shame.
There you go.
I'm still drinking.
Yeah, he's still doing. That's like your. That's
but
your,
I'm not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone.
I'm in a party chat. I'm not drinking alone.
See, technically, you're right. Technically,
I'm with my internet friends.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a strong word. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's amongst internet people.
Go party on the internet. You don't get charged for cover.
Exactly. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should start
I have to.
charging.
Oh, yeah, that's
No,
true.
you're a co-host, so it's
Rogers sends
okay,
me a bill every month, so maybe that's my cover charge.
right? Okay, let's do. I'm sorry about doing all this first, but I gotta do it.
Much less aggressive typing. You got to work on that.
I like this. So
Dainty typing.
dainty typing. Well, then let me get into dainty typing. Space. Hi, Ernesto. Ernesto, keywords go. I'm kidding. Space talk. No, space. Colon. I say colon.
Hashtag space. Hashtag exploration. Hashtag futurism. Hashtag Buster Ramjet. All one word.
Oh my god. Space.
Solar sails. We want to talk about solar sails because that's kind of
There you go.
like potential, like nearish future exploration, not jumping around between galaxies and warp drives and time travel, all that higher tech stuff. Talking like low tech space exploration stuff we can conceivably build a ship with the next 100 years, kind of thing. How are we going to get to Alpha Centauri?
There,
Chow
like
City.
what even is that exactly? So many places to begin.
What's an Alpha Centauri?
Yeah, that's basically. And there's some lore not in the game that I want to update you on later so that I can get your input on it because they're now calling it a meridian wormhole again instead of just a black hole. Yep. Some stuff has been activated. Switch. Yeah, they did the. I'm not going to do many more tags. I'm just going to go with what I got so we can get started here.
Hashtag Helldivers 2.
Actually, yeah, I was sorry. I was right on that one. Starring Brad. There we go. Brad. Featuring Brad.
Man, there's still a carrier here. Sweet.
Oh, you're in Elite Dangerous now? I wish I was in Elite Dangerous. Okay. Alright, guys. Okay. Bruce just said, I've just recently learned that voids actually exist. What, you didn't think they existed? What did you think we were all looking into?
Voids is in what?
Voids in space. VOIDS. You didn't think they were.
Voids are, but void, like, that it doesn't have to necessarily mean space.
I think that's what he's meaning, yes.
Even like every physical thing in existence is made of atoms and all that stuff, but there's huge amounts of empty space in between them, so those themselves are voids. You can talk about that.
The galactic war waits for no one.
Like a microcosm.
Ready, Helldiver?
There you go. So the topic, as was already not covered, but what I had put in the Discord, copying exactly what Brad said, is that we are. I thought space voids was a science fiction thing, said Bruce.
Like the void of space?
Yeah. No, it's not science fiction.
Nope.
No.
It's actually kind of a funny analog about how we look at like the structure of the atom, how electrons and stuff orbit protons, and planets orbit the sun. And there's huge amounts of literally empty space in between stars, and there's huge amounts of empty space between atoms.
Before we talk...
You're a galaxy.
Yeah.
Of atoms.
Am I a galaxy of atoms?
Everyone's a galaxy of atoms.
Am I a galaxy of atoms?
The Super Destroyer is ready for your next.
Am I a galaxy? Am I a universe and do I contain multitudes? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Maybe like...
I'm just saying.
You'd be an analog to a galaxy, or like a star cluster or something like that.
A star cluster.
A city. Or like if you're on a train with a bunch of people, that's like a galactic.
I'm a motherfucking star cluster. Wait, no, that's not how this song. This kid. Sorry. Nobody knows that song. Okay. I have a question.
Vibes, though.
Right? I was wondering.
We're star clusters, bitches.
Right? So I do want to talk to you about the Penrose Energy Siphon and the update with the Illuminate, but I don't want to talk about it right now. So we can
That
talk
just
about
sounds
what you're
cool.
talking about. I know. And do you want to leave the Helldivers to the end or start it now?
The whole Penrose Triangle Impossible geometric object thing.
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to name some crazy contraption after that.
Hmm.
That's like MC Escher's staircase.
Hmm.
You can't walk on that,
Well,
can you?
I don't know. But here we go. So
The drawing with the stairs upside down on the walls and all that stuff, where it doesn't it looks visually cool, but you couldn't really build something like that. Geometrically, it's an impossible object.
most things are impossible objects. Okay, so
Well, I mean, compared to like a dinner table.
that's not. I don't. Well, moving a big dinner table could be an impossible object. Like a cup. Okay,
Ready for another
I'm ready.
I'm talking more like it's an optical illusion. That's how you can't build an optical illusion. It's an illusion.
True.
This
I'm
operation will
totally ready for this about colonizing space. It refers to the concept of establishing permanent human habitats and settlements beyond Earth
Yep.
for like long-term survival, resource acquisition, and scientific advancement. So that's where I'm starting with.
An adventure.
Adventure. Well, yeah, of course, adventure.
Let's
But
just
mostly
go 'cause we
profit.
can.
Yeah, do it because
Mostly
we
profit.
can. It's mostly going to be profit.
Step
Hey.
1, build rockets. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, profit.
Exactly. So, where do you want to begin with this? Because I'd love to
Maybe
hear
Johnny figured it
your
out.
thoughts. Oh, and Bruce said, listen, I put all of my points in human history and nothing else. Oh, okay. Well, good job, Bruce. I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
What about future history? Or we're living in a future person's history.
We are. Well, yeah. Every present is the future for past people. Okay, thanks for joining tonight, guys.
We just blew everyone's minds. The end.
Right? There we go. We're done. I would like to hear some thoughts you have on space colonization before I like help
So
you
here's
with.
the Penrose thing later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
like current ideas or like current, not so much plans because we can't. You know, everyone's talking. Oh yeah, we're going to go to Mars and do stuff on Mars. But we don't have like actual concrete plans to do that yet.
Hmm.
So, or like pipe dreams. We dream of going to Mars.
We dream of we dream of a lot of things. Hmm.
But there's quite a few places in our own solar system that we feel like we could colonize.
Like
Humans,
where?
not just robots.
Mars.
Titan. The moon,
Okay, tell me about Titan.
Mars,
Hello, Archetypal.
Hello.
Mhm.
Well, it's the whole. Oh, it has an atmosphere, so we could probably hang out there. It's a long. It's like a trope. Yeah, but it's really cold, and the atmosphere might be poisonous. It might be a little bit easier to colonize or build things on a less dense atmospheric world. But that goes back to the radiation thing we were talking about before. A serious problem
With the health
anything
effects. Yeah.
is zero G, maybe not good for humans, and getting smacked in the face with radiation constantly, which are
Not good
lovely
for
Earth
anyone.
atmosphere protects us from, and the magnetosphere protects us from. Yeah.
Mhm. So this is what I'm curious about. Where are we right now with space colonization? Like, I know some of us know, but could you let us know where we're at right now? Where are we, Brad?
If like exploring space is like a really tall building, we're figuring out how to get from the lobby to the elevator. We have ideas. It's like, cool. Wouldn't it be cool to be at the like observation deck and look at stuff? Like, we don't even know where the elevators are. We don't know how to get there.
The topic is colonizing space, archetype of divinity. I was wondering what the topic was.
So yeah, we can build big rockets to get us to the moon. But really,
It's in the
it's
title too.
giant, expensive rockets to get a couple people to the moon for like a couple days and then
What
bring
would
them
this?
back.
What would the stairs represent? Stairs. What would the stairs represent?
In the building of colonized space,
Yeah.
the stairs would be like the Saturn V.
Oh, well, tell us what's the Saturn V?
The Saturn V was the rocket that was built to bring the Apollo astronauts to the moon and back. So we did it. You could take the stairs, but really anyone going past like the 4th floor doesn't want to take the stairs. They want the elevator, you know? And if you want to bring heavy stuff, you're not taking the fucking stairs. You're taking the elevator. Or a crane or something like that. That'll really be what we want. You want to bring something heavy to the top floor, you get like a helicopter or a crane. You don't take the stairs.
Okay.
So the stairs will work, but we don't want the stairs. The stairs would be chemical rockets. Because we know how to build them, we know how they work. We can make them more efficient than what we have right now. But in the grand scheme of things, between like plasma engines, nuclear-powered engines, ion engines, other hypothetical technologies we don't even know how to explain yet or build, chemical rockets are like babies drooling compared to adults adulting.
Adults aren't very good at adulting, but yes. So, okay. So,
You can make bigger mistakes faster than babies can.
that's true. That is true.
But yeah, chemical rockets won't take us to... Okay, sorry, they could take us to another star system. It would take so crazily long a time. It would be
That's
like...
for
we might as well-
generational ships.
Even that, though, generational ships would probably use other technologies than chemical rockets.
That's true. That's true. We
Also,
have a
chemical
question.
rockets are really dangerous. Oh, question in the chat. Oh,
I don't want to interrupt you though. I'll wait till you finish the sentence. I'll just.
oh so good. I'm just kind of rambling with ideas.
But no, I like the rambling. If Archetypal Divinity says, question for Brad, if I may, would it not be cheaper to build space stations in orbit where shuttles would dock as opposed to launching from the ground?
Oh shit! See, he knows. Let's talk about the whole effects of gravity and all that stuff. It would be a lot easier to build, as we mentioned, skyhooks in a previous chat too.
Don't we have a
building
space
stuff-
station right now? Hello, guys. We put the can to
do.
arm. Yeah, but it's not
Yeah.
enough for you guys. It's just not enough.
It's
You want a whole like?
no.
It's not enough. Okay.
That's like, oh, you want a beach vacation, and then someone throws sand in your face. Like, no, it's not enough. That doesn't count. What are you talking about? Space station is there for like very kind of primitive scientific purposes, and kind of a token like, yeah, we have a space station. We're in space. We're totally technologically advanced and stuff.
But we aren't.
But because so much energy, so like the Saturn V rocket that sent Apollo astronauts to the moon was like the size of a skyscraper. And in the end, the only thing that came back was something the size of a compact car with 3 people in it.
Oh.
So almost the entire rocket was spent just getting people up off of Earth into space. So if you start building things in space, you don't have to worry about, oh man, how are we going to get this big heavy spaceship into space? So you're already in space.
It's already there. Yeah.
Yeah, so orbital factories, large space stations with permanent crews, like rotating parts to create artificial gravity, like an O'Neill cylinder. Okay, an O'Neill cylinder is kind of big. But,
What's that? No, tell me what's that? Sorry
Okay,
about
but
the
I'm talking
tangent.
about like the stereotypical science fiction. Oh, it's a
Okay.
space station going to rotate and to create gravity.
Yeah,
An
yeah.
O'Neill cylinder is like a really big tube. I think in the end of Interstellar, they're in one.
Oh yeah, they are. I
So
just
imagine
watched
being
that.
on the inside of a big tube, and you can kind of like you look up, and you're like, hey, there's like a map of the city up there, but that's like the other side of the inside of the tube that you're looking at.
Okay.
But it'd be like a couple kilometers across, maybe 100 kilometers long. Or something like that.
Got you. Bruce is worried about space pollution as if that isn't already happening. But Archetypal Divinity says the possibility exists, but you don't have to jettison and dispose of so many rockets.
Found something.
I might have read that. Like, I don't think
That's
Bruce.
true. I mean,
I don't think
the whole
Brad is doing that.
like
Oh,
the
I know.
jettisoning thing is because like okay, we built a big chemical rocket and we used all of its fuel getting from the launch pad to low orbit, and it's empty, and we don't have the energy, or they didn't design the rocket to carry all this kind of dead weight. So out you go. Sorry, whoever it might land on, or outer space, which is filled with little bits and pieces of crap right now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a serious issue, like every other kind of pollution. But
He says exactly, Brad. He's agreeing with you. He says exactly. That's archetypal. He agrees with you. That's what I mean. That's what he means, he says.
That is something we got to deal with. Designing rockets that are more efficient so we don't have to have like the dead weight once the fuel's empty kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or engines that don't need a fuel like that, like a bus or ramjet. That's been hypothesized. Which is kind of like fuel scooping in Elite.
Oh, I like fuel scooping in Elite.
I think it was actually named after someone who, like a scientist or an engineer or something like that, or a physicist or something.
That has thought of something that... Wait, that has thought of something that's like fuel scooping? That would be fucking cool. Because why don't we use the sun's energy? I don't get it. Like, why aren't we using...
Imagine, like... it's like a vacuum cleaner, but it works on magnetism.
Okay.
So part of it is it basically sprays ions in front of it to ionize particles. And then because they're ionized, they will respond to magnetic fields. And they use a magnetic field to, like, pull in a bunch of hydrogen like a vacuum cleaner. And then you use that hydrogen to burn it for fuel.
Oh.
So you don't carry fuel, you basically use, energy to draw in fuel and then burn it to use it. So you don't have to worry about it.
Archetype says, I don't think we use solar energy because it isn't very efficient. That's where we were going to talk about solar sails, though. That was an interesting thing. Isn't that kind of connected?
Solar sails is another...
and it's even used in Aliens.
I don't remember if they actually... I think they actually built one to test it. Like, yeah, it's totally working, but it's kind of like... we know sailing ships work because we did it for a couple hundred, if not thousands of years on Earth. But if, the global economy works on ships that are not sailboats, there's more advanced... I don't know if reliable is the right word, but more powerful technology. Because the wind's always there. We're just like, oh man, wind, you're too slow. We don't know if you're going to be really windy. I want to get this stuff. I want my Amazon stuff. Let's go. Come on.
Fuck Amazon. But yeah. I mean, there goes that sponsor. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Yeah.
Come back, Amazon, please.
It works, but doesn't work well. No, fuck them.
But the fact that solar radiation is constant, as long as the sun is burning, which it will do for billions of years, solar sails will work.
Boy, he's an optimist. It works, but it doesn't work well. There goes our sponsor. Yeah, we're not gonna have that sponsor. At least we haven't refined our tech enough to make it completely feasible, says Archetypal Divinity. I love Invincible, says Bruce, so therefore I will sell my soul to Amazon. Okay, good job for you. Okay, so...
If you haven't read Invincible, it's a pretty cool comic.
Oh, okay. Is it so... Is it... I hear it get mentioned, and no, I haven't read it. It just makes me think of, like... No. I think they're talking about a new one. Not like the old one that had, Bruce Willis in it. Is that the way you're thinking of? Because I don't think that's what they're talking about.
I think you're talking about the movie Unbreakable. I'm talking about the comic series Invincible.
Oh, yeah, I'm fully out the loop. Oh. I didn't think you'd watch TV. No, I'm too busy.
I don't. I borrow it off the internet.
Oh, borrowing. Okay, again, we've lost another sponsor.
It's totally not piracy. It's like if your friend lends you a
borrowing.
CD and you just...
Oh my gosh, we're off topic, Mr. We're totally off topic. So,
anyway.
I know, that's fine. I've been there, done that. Borrow, says Chris.
I would not want to take a solar sail powered ship to the next star system.
So,
the moon or Mars, maybe it would be like
a Martian colony. A Martian colony, because they really want... People are really wanting that. Why? But what about... So we've talked about a lunar base. I don't know. That seems like would have been the first thing we would have colonized if we had stayed on track. Personally.
It makes the most sense because it's so close.
I know.
And there's stuff we need on the moon. We need helium-3 for fusion power.
Why aren't we doing that? Because it would take away the profit? Like, for real. I know that... Do you know what I mean? Why
There's no profit there yet, otherwise we'd be doing that, right?
No, I mean,
And
it
we're still
takes
mining
away.
for coal because there's profit in that. So
That's true.
we're not going forwards in the right direction. We're just going after the money.
Right.
There goes another sponsor. We're not sponsored by coal or Amazon
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Oh, I was really counting on coal. Ah, damn. Ah, we got to be careful here. Okay, okay. I'd like to hear more
Coal-powered
because
starships might not work. Just saying.
there's an article from 2018 that said Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk want to colonize space to save humanity, and they'll throw billions of dollars at it to do it. So, I'm
Yeah.
curious about your thoughts.
I mean, right away, I feel like part of that is rich guys want to do rich guy stuff.
They want to put phallic things into space, yes.
Well, no, okay, that might be a different perspective. I'm just talking about,
Yeah.
if you own companies worth like that many billions of dollars, you kind of have to dream big. Otherwise, people are going to be like, okay, you're just another company guy.
Right, right.
These are like among the richest people on Earth with.
Do you think they're
Crazy
going to
amounts
take us
of-
poor people with them? Or are they going to do like aliens and just put us in worker camps on different planets? That's what I think they're going to do, honestly.
The first colonies might be rich escapees leaving a polluted Earth, and or semi-enslaved poor humans doing work for them on their.
To set it up for them to
Oh.
live there. Right? I missed some stuff. Archetypal Divinity said in the Army we called that creatively acquiring. Creatively acquiring.
That sounds
make
like a politically correct term for stealing shit. I creatively acquired video documentation on the internet.
And he said, you make a good point about bases on the moon, no, but humans are more focused on material wealth than progress. That's true. And
Yeah.
Bruce says that money is the most important resource. And then Divinity says the ability to do things simply because you can, because of the whole, those guys going into space, rich guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, even space tourism, open air quotes, is like, okay, you can throw a couple $100,000 and go into space and say you went to space. It doesn't make you like an astronaut. You're just a tourist.
They like to think they are, though. I think they like to think they are. They're like, look, I want to go to space.
I mean, hey, if they want to pay, you or I or anyone else to agree with them,
We still
take your
won't.
money. Doesn't make
still
it
won't.
real.
Exactly, right? Right?
Sure, you're a space cadet.
Yeah, yeah, like,
That'll be
congratulations.
$50,000.
Right? Like, that's basically what they're doing, though. They're paying space tourism, they are
Or maybe
paying that
it's-
much. Just like
or
the
maybe
guys
it's
who went
the-
underwater, not to get under
There's something here.
other
Yeah,
topic,
the
but to the
submarine
bottom
thing.
of the ocean. Yeah, I mean, they
no,
basically were
but
like,
that's
oh,
like the-
look, this makes us,
But that's the rich guy doing rich guy stuff thing.
wow. Couldn't they just get hobbies that are different hobbies? I don't know.
Yeah, but if you have a lot of money, then maybe your hobby is doing crazy things that you need a lot of money to do.
Yeah, that makes kind of sense, I
We,
suppose.
we can't do that, so it's kind of out of
No.
our sphere of fun.
Exactly.
We have a
Archetypal
limited
Divinity.
fun sphere.
Right? Again, don't sponsor us, Amazon, but anybody else, and no cool. But Archetypal says, if I'm going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go into space, I'll put that into college and learn how to be an actual astronaut. Yeah, but your
Boom.
window for doing that is a bit too late, though.
Not if you want to.
Unless you're a kid, like maybe, I don't know, the odds of being able to go up into space as an
don't crush
astronaut.
your dreams. Like, come on, series.
I'm
Maybe
so-
by the time they become training, like they finish their training to be an astronaut, we can upload their mind and they can be a robot astronaut.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. I know people who love that idea of being uploaded into
Uploads are a different
Consciousness.
episode.
Oh gosh, yeah, uploaded as consciousness. There are people that really dig that idea.
The future of consciousness.
Yeah, that would be a great episode, honestly, and it would even tie into Helldivers because of the fact that there are mind control villains in this, or were villains, but you know what I mean. I mean, that's kind of not beyond the realm of possibility. Okay, artificial immortality. Yeah, did you ever see that Black Mirror episode, Archetypal Divinity? Sorry, I went off track. Okay, back to reality. I'd like to hear. Yeah, exactly. Back to the
Future?
here and now
Wait,
and then. No, that's a movie. You did see the one I'm talking about? Oh, Divinity, we should talk about that sometime then. That seems like a horrible idea. What? Artificial immortality? Of course it does. But they already have things where AIs can pretend to be your dead relatives. It's pretty depressing. Let's not
Okay.
go there.
Yeah,
Back to the
don't want
topic.
to stray too off topic, but yeah, what happens if you say you invest money in a company and then you upload your mine and you stay alive for like hundreds, if not thousands of years, and then you retire with interest, and you're a space bajillionaire. You're just buying whole planets for your kids and stuff.
Well, that's dreaming.
That's not that bad of an idea.
No, I suppose not. But I doubt it's going to be available to the everyday person, right?
Probably not within our lifetimes. But it's like,
Yeah.
hey, if you're an uploaded conscious, you can still experience stuff, but you don't get tired, you don't have to eat, you don't have to rest.
Yeah.
What's
So
wrong with
basically, like now, except, yeah.
No, very not much like now, where we have all those ailments.
Oh, yeah, yeah. How do we make space profitable so that we can convince people to be interested in space exploration? Says Bruce. I'm
think there's still
assuming
another
it's
step
not
on the
that
staircase.
profitable.
Well, that's
Okay,
it.
well, what's step? What's the step?
Develop, say, fusion energy. They're like, hey, what are we going to use in fusion reactors? Oh, yeah, right, all that stuff that's on the moon. So, holy shit, we got to go to the moon to do
Why
that.
do they keep not caring about the moon? They don't care about the fucking moon, it seems. Because they're like, oh, Mars,
Because we're
oh,
still
this.
burning fossil fuels, and it's like, oh, well, there's still 20 more years of, fuel XYZ, whether it's natural
So
gas.
they're just
or
going to wait
coal
till
or-
it's out. They're just going to wait till it's out. And then they'll be like, oh, hey, let's do this idea that was thought
We
about.
should have went to the moon earlier because now we ran out of stuff. Yeah, typical humans.
Right? Humans be human.
So yeah, there's probably going to be a century or two of that happening where we're like, yeah, we don't need to do that yet because we're simpletons. We're too busy fighting. And
We
got
are.
stuff here. We don't need to go over there yet. We got lots of stuff here. Oh shit, this stuff ran out. Holy fuck, we're fucked.
Then we'll care when we're all fucked. Got it. That sounds about right for humans, honestly. Okay, so when I was...
Yeah, if we're forced into action, we tend to act way quicker and with more resolve. Yeah.
That's true. That is true. That is true. Going back to space travel, thank you, archetypal divinity. But this is colonization. The simple problem that cannot be solved is our limited lifespans. Even if we as a species made peace and money was forsaken, we will still need to develop tech to keep us alive and healthy enough to be useful. Yeah. Yeah, we know.
I think there was, I can't remember, was it Mars or the Moon? There was a
At the end
probe
of the
recently,
voyage.
not the one that fell over, but there was a different space probe that had,
You can't get past that one that fell over.
it's so sad.
I'm sorry. Tell us about it one more time, please. Tell us about it right now,
It's
please.
not easy to build a space probe and get some other company to go like, yeah, bring your space probe to a rocket. We'll totally send it into space for you. And it actually lands on the moon or Mars. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember right now. And then one little part of it doesn't deploy properly and it falls over.
It's
That's
just
so sad.
falling over on its side. Wait, I
Fell
gotta
over.
search it.
Solar sails didn't deploy
Rover
properly,
falls
and then its
over
batteries
on
died.
planet.
And that was the end of that.
Wait. Irony. No, that was 2021. Let's look for more recent.
This was like a week or two ago.
Okay, so I'm trying rover Perseverance? No, it isn't Perseverance.
No.
Perseverance.
I'm trying to remember the name of the company.
We might get... Okay.
It was a private company. It wasn't a space agency.
Okay.
Which is another thing. I know we've mentioned hey, we need to make it like commercially viable. There are actually, when I was a kid, it was just, you have to be a space agent to use space stuff.
A
NASA
private...
or ESA or JAXA. But now companies are like, SpaceX and Blue Origin are doing shit.
Yeah, private lunar landing carrying a drill vacuum and other experiments for NASA touched down on the moon Sunday. That was 3 weeks ago. Blue Ghost landed successfully on moon. But where's this rover that fell over? I need to know. Now I'm curious. If you guys find out,
Red Rover
me know.
fall over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was the moon because I remember it landed in a crater.
Gravity is
the
amazing for
extreme
culture.
cold and the shadow helped to not make it last very long.
Are we speaking in terms of what's feasible regarding space travel? Or we're talking about colonizing space. Or are we
Colonizing
allowing
space
for
is being-
sci-fi
well,
fictional discussions? What was the question? Oh no.
That's later.
Okay.
The sci-fi, crazy, hyper-futuristic shit, like, oh, we'll just invert a black hole, make a wormhole out of it. Boom. That's later. That's a different episode. This is
Well,
like,
then-
what
then
can we probably
guide
do
us.
within the next 100 or 200 years?
Well, then
Solar
guide us.
sails. We've built space probes with
Tell
ion
us
engines.
about that.
Better
Tell us.
ion engines.
Please tell us, because so far I'm seeing that colonizing space, having manned space colonies would also be a boon for science. Blah blah, all this good stuff, but like
Science isn't profitable. What's
it's
wrong?
not ethical and stuff. So we need to know. We need
Not
to know
ethical.
what yeah, it's not
Ethics of
ethical.
space travel? What's
Oh, we
not
know
ethical?
it'll be exploited. Well, establishing
I'm not even
space
talking about if we
settlements
find,
may
like,
indeed
there's
be
actually
virtuous.
microbes out there.
It's a seize of territory and exploitation of extraterrestrial resources.
Have you met humans before?
Humans? Yes.
Those are our resources. We just have to go get them.
Oh my gosh, there you go. Yeah, we need to get to
That was
3 a.m. in
80%
order to get to
sarcasm.
that level, like the History Channel. Oh my gosh, no. Okay,
Ancient
so
aliens.
I need you though to tell me about space colonization. You had an idea for this first one? Because there's so many pros and cons to this that I wouldn't know where to start. There's risks to it.
I don't
Here's
see
why we
cons. I
should-
see obstacles.
Well, then
There are obstacles to it.
what are some obstacles? Okay, I appreciate your time for explaining this to everyone and being available, Brad. Oh, there you
So
go.
the first-
Well, we haven't even
one of the
just
things we
gotten
have to-
started.
One of the things we have to build or
Thank
develop or figure out is the radiation shielding.
Okay.
You can't just
Well-
be flying around with like literally meters of lead to protect us.
Oh, why? I'm just kidding.
Because heavy stuff bad for flying things.
Oh, okay. Ain't it always?
So some sort of field generator would do that. A problem with that is, okay, how are we going to like develop this technology and make sure that it works? We have to be in space for it to.
Let the corrupt billionaires pay for it.
I guess. Maybe they will as a part of the hey, we're going to Mars thing. If they want to go to Mars, they have to deal with that. In between planets, you have to deal with that, let alone leaving the solar system for fucking years to go somewhere else.
Prioritization risks, aberration risks, and conflict risks are three categories of colonization-related risks with space colonizations. Wow,
Is that in the chat, or is that ChatGPT telling you?
This is a big article from ScienceDirect.com.
Aberration of what? Like the aberration of light?
Aberration risks are risks inadvertently created by space colonization. They are entirely new risks without precedence in human history, and they expand the moral circle of concern far beyond humankind. The disvalue that they can create is potentially orders of magnitude greater than the positive value of humankind's
Okay, so
future.
you don't want to talk about that? Because one thing could be like, oh, we go to Mars and like, holy shit, there's microbes here.
Yeah.
There's
I mean,
actually
we could go there and end
very
up
primitive,
bringing
but it's
something
alien
home
life.
we could go somewhere and end up bringing back a terrible disease that wipes out the whole universe because it's like some microbe thingy, and we end up, I don't know, and then it wipes out mankind, ironically. That actually would be kind of ironic if we did that. If we went out there and then we got something and we came back and then we ruined all of humankind and we wiped all of ourselves out. I'm just saying.
You mean more ruined.
Yeah, more ruined than we are. More ruined. Look. I'm doing the best I can. More ruined us. Yeah, exactly. You heard it here on this fancy...
Almost any... like that has an analogy in history. People meeting new cultures and... Oops, here's a disease and totally fucking wiping a whole bunch of them out.
Exactly. It seems to be what we do.
But yeah, the reverse could equally happen. We could go somewhere, unknowingly bring back microbial
horrible
life
things.
Not doing too good.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like, because you mentioned morals, I thought you meant like, oh, we go somewhere like Europa or Callista or Io or Titan or somewhere, and there ends up being stuff there, and we're like, oh,
and
well,
we ruin it.
Should we even be here? Because we'll disrupt
Probably
this,
not. We would disrupt
process.
Exactly. We probably would. We'd fuck it all up.
Not going is one opinion once we find that, but that'd be like
That's probably what we do, though.
Does a construction company give a shit if they're like, oh, we're going to build a subdivision here, but there's deer living here? Nobody gives a fucking shit about that. We probably should, but do you think development companies and construction companies and employees of those companies like fucking care?
No.
People don't even slow down to not run over animals on the road. They're not going to give a shit about something's habitat like that.
He's making a point. He's making a point.
I don't agree with that, but this is how people act. This is how we act.
And that's the only way we actually advance. Isn't that fucked up?
Even if you start bulldozing other people's homes out of the way, then it's like, okay, maybe we'll start.
We do it anyway.
But we still do it. Oh, yeah, it's in the name of progress. Okay, so that's probably going to happen in space. We're totally going to do it in space.
Got it. I found.
If it starts to kill us by the 1,000, then we'll probably be like, holy fuck, maybe that's a bad idea.
And then it still depends on what thousands it is. Ark says, Brad is right, the distance isn't the only hazard. Space debris that has been spiraling through space for thousands of years, hazardous radiation and mental physical deterioration are bad. Microorganisms are problematic too. Yeah.
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 And it's all things to consider. I'm not trying to be pessimistic.
No, I enjoy pessimism. It makes me feel happy.
I was an optimist, but then I became a cynic by experience.
Well, it could be all your hopes and dreams being dashed with age.
Say we clean up all the space debris.
Yeah.
We send robots out there to clean it up. We create magnets.
Wally!
We set the entire upper atmosphere gets set alight with plasma fire, and we clean up all the garbage. Whatever. However we fix it, humanity unites to build a space engine machine to get society into the stars and stuff. And we're on our way, and some asteroid we never saw coming smacks into the ship and totally obliterates it.
It probably would. It probably would. Let's be real. It probably would.
What? Are we going to be like, okay, well, we shouldn't do that?
No, because after the Challenger, look what we did after the Challenger exploded. We're like, okay, never mind.
We still haven't built a replacement.
And that is no honor to the astronauts that went up there. They wouldn't have wanted us to give up. We were just like, oh, nope, never again. We're done. Okay.
No, but it's things, like I said, it's things to consider. Would we start, okay, now we have to develop better tracking technology to, see hazardous objects? Should we develop, science fiction, just energy shields to defend us from things, even if we did see them? We might need to stop it. We can't just, better not go over there. There's space out there.
That's like my point of view with going outside. Better not go out there. There's space out there. Just kidding.
Anyway, even if you develop, say, countermeasures and weapons on the ship. Okay, we're going to put lasers and guns on the ship to shoot down asteroids incoming. Okay, well, that's more mass to fly around, and it's more energy to draw from an already very limited environment of energy, which you kind of want to keep the crew alive and get the mission going. So, those are aberrant problems, I guess. How are we going to deal with the various hazards that we might not see?
Yeah. There was also, is it desirable? Yeah, we want to go there. How will we colonize other planets?
Well, first step would be to go there. We have to go to Mars. And the next step would be,
we still don't know how to go.
Say we have the political and economic will, we're just going to keep sending missions and further progress. Like in the 70s, there was
progress.
I think I still have a textbook from one of my uncles when he was in high school in the 70s, so when we were still doing Apollo missions and stuff like that. They're like, we're just going to keep, full speed ahead, the hype train can't be stopped, we're just going to keep doing these missions. And by the year 2000, there's going to be lunar bases and people living up there.
I wonder how that worked out.
Between politics and the economy, it's just like, we're just like the public and all parties involved is kind of like,
never mind. Yeah,
they're like the moon T-shirt. We don't give a shit anymore.
Yep.
There was supposed to be, Apollo 18, 19, 20. So we're good.
They said never mind.
Dust.
They said never mind.
Or maybe they found something and they're scared.
Probably. He said maybe you didn't conspiracy thing. Oh my gosh, you guys heard it.
Plot twist, NASA's afraid of the dark side of the moon.
There you go. Oh my gosh, that wine
That's why we
must be
can't
kicking
see it.
in.
They're hiding it.
It's
Like, no, we don't want to see it. No, but say we have progressive political and economic and social will, like all everything's lining up. We have the money, we have the technology, we have the people behind us going like, yeah, let's fucking go.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to explore Mars with people and robots, kind of like
androids, like aliens. Yeah, synthetics. Yes.
well, no, not just that. I
Oh,
meant
just
more like
robots
we'd
like
have
Wally.
to,
Okay, sorry.
well, robotic probes because it would be like how there's GPS satellites. There's not people up in space going like, okay, let me write this down. No, we have machines that can help us expedite the process. So we'd send people up there to do the people stuff, and we'd have probes and robots and drones and rovers to do the stuff that's either too hazardous or we just don't have the people up there to do all of that.
Yeah, I know you meant from aliens.
But, plan out, okay, where are we going to put a base? You have to think about storms on Mars, of which dust storms are a significant problem, so maybe you put them underground or in, like, the leeward side of a crater or a mountain range or something like that. So you have to think, you'd have to study and think about where it would physically go to make the most sense and need the less amount of protection and constant upkeep, because that's just more cost or danger. Like, oh, you got to go out and sweep the roof off again. Sorry, solar panels are covered in Martian dust. Okay, well, if you built it in a way that doesn't get dusty, then that's better. So things like that we have to think about. Say, hey, let's build like energy facilities on Mars, so we're not using batteries all the time. The first couple missions will be batteries because that's all we can take with us. But eventually, if we want to live there, we're going to build. Could you build a windmill on Mars? What would a Martian windmill look like to withstand the low gravity, but the high wind speed, and low magnetosphere and atmosphere, fucking cosmic rays, and all that? Well, all these physical things to consider when you're building something. And then there's kind of, maybe another proponent is like, well, no, we'll just bring a nuclear reactor with us, and we'll build a nuclear reactor. Then we don't have to worry about things like that.
Oh, okay. So we hear from Ark. He says, regarding blowing things up in space, it isn't an immediate concern beyond avoiding collisions, but at some point, someday, those fragments will give someone something a very bad day. Yeah. And then he referenced Bishop from Aliens, and I like Bishop. And then bases will also decay with weather, so we'd have to invest in upkeep. That's why we probably have worker colonies. I think Aliens wasn't far off with that, the way corporations are. And do you think building subterranean bases would be more efficient on Mars? We actually talked about that the other week.
Yeah.
Well, please tell us more.
I didn't feel like it was coincidence that Tesla Man had significant technology that all had to do with this would make sense on Mars. Cars that don't need an atmosphere to function because they're electric, or subterranean big machines and rockets. That's all like we're going to Mars kind of stuff.
There you go. See?
Stupid political shit aside. But yeah, they were all basically, this is all kind of pointing towards Martian colonization. I mean, it would work on the moon too.
We're referencing an article from March 7, 2024 from ScienceHowStuffWorks.com. Key takeaways were Elon Musk of SpaceX envisions colonizing Mars with a self-sustaining city of 80,000 people, while NASA and the European Space Agency have plans for lunar bases to serve as stepping stones for further space exploration. The moon offers a more accessible starting point for colonization, agreeing with you, due to its proximity to Earth. Long-term human survival and expansion into space may involve colonizing not just Mars and the moon, but also asteroids, dwarf planets, and eventually Earth-like exoplanets. And if you think it's too far-fetched, Musk says there's a 70% chance that he'll travel on a rocket to Mars in his lifetime, and that he's thinking about eventually moving there to live in a human outpost on the surface of the red planet. Source Alan and Vandahai. Wow. Musk most likely wouldn't be lonely on the red planet.
I'm curious to see where they got that percentage from.
I guess it's something Musk said. I don't know.
I mean, I guess if you're super rich, you just say whatever you want.
Yeah, developing the technologies to take American astronauts to Mars and beyond. This is a bit of older article, but like this is stuff. Lunar living. Wow, the Apollos. Ever since the Apollo program put the moon within our reach, establishing a lunar outpost has seemed a logical next step. So you're basically saying what they've said. Like that's what's been said. I'm not
I mean, it's
consulting
not so
Chat
much.
GPT today,
It's not like
Archetypal. I'm actually pulling up. I have pulled up articles so that he
It's not
won't
like
yell
different
at me.
camps. It's not like different camps where you agree with one side versus the other. It's just like just a lot of scientific.
Do I sound like
articles
ChatGPT?
research the same thing because that's
No, it's articles from Science. HowStuffWorks.com is a really good site. Have you ever been there? I know you're being playful. I'm just saying. No, I'm not using ChatGPT today. They're saying we probably won't. So a successful settlement on Mars seems to be the goal still, but it's agreed that the moon should be first. I'm dead.
yes.
Okay.
The whole Mars thing is this century's. Oh, we're gonna go to the moon. Let's go to the moon, everybody. Yeah. Like I said, it's that political and social will. We got tired of the moon. People aren't excited to send astronauts to the moon unless it's a country that hasn't been there yet. That can actually afford to do so, like China, for example. China and India are like, fuck yeah, we'll go to the moon. See you there, folks.
What is happened to your voice? This is Brad on stream, my co-host for tonight, where we talk about space. See the title? NTX. Yeah. No, I'm now a man. I've changed into a man. I have become a man. This is what hell diving does to you.
It's typing into text-to-speech device.
Yeah. Do you not have this technology? How about Venus? What about Venus?
Ooh, there's a good idea.
Really? Tell us more.
So it actually might be easier to go to Venus.
Why?
It might be easier to go to Venus because it's closer to the sun, so we would use the sun's gravity to help get us there.
Oh.
If you're going away from the sun, you have to fight against the sun's gravity, which is kind of significant.
Well,
but once you're there, not a totally cool place to hang out.
Why?
Not cool, bro.
Why?
Venus is closer to Earth in size than Mars, but extraordinarily poisonous atmosphere. It rains sulfuric acid.
Oh, that might hurt a little. I mean,
literally rains sulfuric acid.
That might be a bummer.
The pressure of the atmosphere would kill, literally would kill anyone in not even seconds. You'd be instantly dead if you got into a spaceship.
So that wouldn't work out for us too well. That wouldn't work out.
Actually, when the Russians and the Americans were sending lots of probes there in the 70s, even they were like, hey, the probe successfully made it. The parachute deployed. It's descending the atmosphere. We're getting scientific readings. And okay, the probe's dead.
Whoopsies. Got it.
It's like an insidiously lethal environment for lots of stuff. The funny thing is, though, we know that. Oh, I'll get to that in a second.
No, please go.
So the whole, how there are. This is another kind of helpful analogy to space travel. Is in the deep oceans, the volcanic vents and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So deep in the ocean, the Earth's crust is splitting open. There's like little tiny volcanoes all over the place. Mm-hmm. There's no sunlight. You're under incredible atmospheric pressure from the literal miles of water that's on top of you, crushing you. Mm-hmm. And it could be 400 or 500 degrees Fahrenheit because of you're living in a volcano, and we see life there. We've discovered life that thrives in these environments. Mm-hmm. So they would kind of be okay with hanging out on Venus. So maybe between CRISPR and genetic engineering in the future, we could send maybe not artificial, but we can genomed life forms, like bacteria, basically, just shoot it all over Venus, and get it to consume and convert the atmosphere into something that totally wouldn't kill us instantly.
See, ideas.
That's been hypothesized.
Or
plants. Seeding other planets with plants is another idea. Because we know chlorophyllic plants consume carbon dioxide and turn it into oxygen. That's how they live. So
There
say
you
we
go.
find an Earth-like planet that's like, hey, the pressure's not totally crazy. I'm talking about outside of the solar system.
Okay.
Say we
Got it.
discover a planet and it's like, okay, well, atmosphere looks like its pressure isn't totally going to crush anything that steps foot on the surface, but it's got way too much, carbon in the atmosphere. How are we going to fix that? Just like shoot a bunch of Christmas trees down there.
Like
give it
Christmas
50
trees?
years. Yeah,
Christmas trees.
Or
Why are we
other
thinking
kind
of
of
Christmas
trees.
trees?
call it
Oh,
Planet
okay.
Christmas. Then.
Oh, Planet Christmas. How far are you into that one? Planet Christmas. Sounds. We're not. Welcome to Space Show, where we're talking
Or Planet
about.
Christmas.
We're gonna. Okay, so I'm gonna
But no,
catch up a bit.
that's kind of a
Planet
seeding.
Christmas.
It's called
Wait.
seeding. It's called seeding planets.
Okay, so Planet Christmas. I'm down for Planet Christmas. I mean, I'm not against it.
trees. You could be on like Planet Miami.
I'm on Planet Christmas now. I mean, hell yeah, Planet Christmas. I'm down for it. Okay. Okay, so I gotta catch up, but Archetype says what resources are available that would make travel to Venus feasible? And
Feasible?
or are we gonna move? That's an old.
We've sent probes to Venus, so it is feasible to send things to Venus. It's just too lethal to stay there.
Yeah, so there we go. And then feasible as in worth the trip. Probably not worth the trip, honestly, right?
I mean, just say to like, oh, it's on my bucket list. My interplanetary bingo card has Venus on it. I gotta go. Like you could, and then you just die instantly.
Yeah, there you go. That's a
So it's like
old people who parachute. Like old people who parachute.
Yeah, you could. You could. They could probably develop technology. To do this. We have the technology. You probably could do it. You just would die when you get there. So we have to figure out that part before it's kind of worth investing into how do we get there.
Okay, got it. This Anti-X says the speed of light is kind of slow. I'm not kidding. I'm telling the truth. Okay, thanks for sharing.
It is. No, it's true.
It's true. It's slow.
Even if we figure out how, like, say we invent, we stumble upon the technology, we can go as fast as light speed. It'll still take 4 years to get to the nearest star system.
There you go. See, you're not dumb.
Say you want to go to like well-known star systems, which are hundreds, if not thousands, of light years away. You want to get in the car for 1,000 years? You don't have to fucking go that far. You gotta speed this shit up.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of sci-fi has faster than light travel. Warp speed, wormholes.
Because it'd be boring otherwise.
It's because we physically need something like that in order to explore the galaxy. If we want to be human explorers and we want to get out there and see that shit. We need technology like that. And we just hope that it's possible. With not just science we understand. We hope it's physically possible in this universe to do that. We don't know yet.
Anna Domini says stay in atmosphere. I think they were talking about the acid on Venus, but no, that's not. What do you? That doesn't make sense with what we covered. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Divinity says I don't think the speed of light is slow per se. It's just that there's so incredibly much distance to travel. And Auntie says I know Jupiter is a gas planet and the biggest planet, and a storm can survive 100 of years. And Archetypal Divinity says terraforming. And Auntie says about the sun. And then Archetype says Planet Christmas. Oh no. Feasibilism. I know. When you catch it all up, it doesn't make any sense, does it, Brad? I'm sorry. But I'm sure
slightly out of context now.
It's slightly out. Yeah. It's out of context.
Those are facts about Jupiter. Great red spot still rolling around.
There you go. There you go. Jupiter is a gas plant. Thanks for sharing it. Sorry. Okay.
We could. That's another potential. Shout out to Empire Strikes Back. One of the good Star Wars movies. That whole hey, let's go see Lando on Bespin.
The other ones didn't exist.
The Cloud City, the city in the sky is just kind of flying around. They're on a gas giant.
Oh, well, there you go.
So if we're talking about colonizing the solar system, going to Jupiter and building a station that will kind of like float in the atmosphere and float by means of the atmospheric pressure under it. If you've ever seen later an alcoholic drink, it's kind of like that. Different gases and liquids have different pressures, and you kind of rest things on top of them. We'll probably figure out how to have a structure kind of float on an atmospheric level within Jupiter's atmosphere, and we could mine the gases that are there.
Hi, Anklo. That makes sense.
You could literally take like an Earth's worth of gas out of Jupiter to build or fuel stuff with. And
yeah, why aren't we even doing that? Why aren't we doing stuff like that? Using
we
some
still
of
have to
that
figure out
gas.
how and when we're going back to the moon. So mining Jupiter kind of out.
Kind of beyond the realm. Good to see you, Anklo. Okay, so Earth.
But the same goes for Saturn or Uranus or Neptune, because there's so much. There's so massive planets that it's not like, it'd be like borrowing pennies from a billionaire. They wouldn't notice it's gone, and we could use that for fuel.
And
we're going to colonize one of the moons of Saturn with parts of Saturn.
Oh, well, there you go. Anno Domini said, Earth-like temperatures and atmospheric pressure if you float like airship in Venus. Okay, Moon Archetype, he says, terraforming in response to Brad bringing up seeding planets. Yes. Terraforming will be part of colonizing planets. That's for sure. Yep. Just like in Aliens. I love Aliens. And like, if you saw the recent Alien, they did terraforming on Aliens, the second movie, but also in, it was about, anyway, moving on. It is really expensive. Yeah, space is expensive.
Everything's really expensive.
Living is expensive now.
No, I'm not talking about like, oh man, the economy sucks and life's hard. I'm talking about everything we physically did to make the society we live in costs a shitload of money. The city you live in probably costs a lot to build, but we still built it and you still live there, so we figured it out.
Because that's what we do as human beings.
Just got to figure it out and do it.
Okay.
That's why I keep talking about economic and political and social will. We need leaders that will inspire us to want to do that. We need a society of people that are like in agreement and aren't gonna constantly fucking bitch and fight about it and actually like want to put their money towards it. And we need the money to actually do it. Mm-hmm. And of course, the science will help too.
I just wish we weren't putting it all in the hands of billionaires that don't care about people. Oh, I'm dead. How would one get gas off of Jupiter, says Anklo? This is totally not space colonization, but how would you? It is. Okay, because of the storms, would it not be really hard, says Anklo?
Well, you wouldn't hang out near the storms.
Why not? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Asking the hard-hitting questions.
But that's like the fuel scoop thing again.
I love fuel scooping on Elite Dangerous. Yeah.
You ionize part of the atmosphere, so you'd be shooting kind of like weak electron guns at it to get it ionized. Or like, static cling. You basically use static cling to pull gas into a gas tank, and you're like, hey, my gas tank is full. Cool, let's go.
Tagging map. There you go.
It's kind of hyper simplistic, but that's how it would be done.
There you go. There you go. The whole planet is... Oh, sorry. It's called what? What is it called? No, I need to know what it's called.
Well, like the Bussard ramjet is called a ramjet because we built ramjets in our atmosphere for missiles and hypersonic missiles and things like that, where it's literally just the shape of the intake. So, like, imagine like a hood scoop on a fucking rocket is shaped in such a way that it crams air together into high pressure and it just, squirt some fuel in it.
It's called a ramjet. Yeah.
That's a ramjet.
Okay.
And there's scramjets, which involve other technology.
A scramjet is in GTA. I have a scramjet vehicle in GTA.
That's the name of it. The scramjet is technology. It's an engine technology.
Oh, well, it's also in GTA. I'm just saying. I have a scramjet in GTA. Do you know the scramjet vehicle? It's like...
Yes, it's...
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm just... You get a boot. It's like a... It looks like a... It's like... You get a jump and you can fly real quick.
Is it the speed racer car? I think it's a speed racer.
A little bit speedy. Yeah, it's a little speed. Yeah.
It's the Mach 5 from Speed Racer. It's just called.
No, Ernesto hasn't been on a scramjet. No, Archetype. No, I didn't bring up the scramjet for Ernesto yet. He hasn't seen it yet. No, it's a. But remind me next time, and I will. Okay. Hi, Be Ruthless. The whole planet is a giant storm in it. Okay, it's called Ramjet. Hello, B. Okay. So where were we going from there? I got more tabs open that aren't chat GBT. Okay.
So go to the moon, mine helium-3 so that you can build better and effective fusion rockets and fusion reactors to power your spaceship to bring you to Mars and further. Where you build Martian cities, which once you overcome the whole, are we going to build them underground or build them like semi-subterranean to protect us from the radiation, or do you develop technology that builds energy shields or put like some sort of umbrella in space to shield you from lethal energy?
Mm-hmm. We have questions in the chat.
All right. So the questions.
If you think. Okay. So B says, is it true that there's planets that have natural water? Yes, B. They've discovered water on not just the moon, but other planets, yes. What do you mean by natural water? Do you mean like imaginary water? Like, yes, water that was there, part of the planet.
Is not the opposite of natural. What do you mean?
Oh, what do you mean? What does natural water mean? Like, what does they mean?
Natural
What's
water,
the question?
I would take that as like it's in its liquid state naturally, like we find water.
Oh,
not
okay,
ice,
okay.
Not water vapor and clouds, but we find water. Like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, there's a lake over there.
Oh shit! Yeah, I think there has been evidence of that. Haven't they found water? Or
We've
am I
seen
wrong?
evidence of it in the past.
It has existed.
Like some things on Mars, I think, was either caused by water or lava, maybe.
Magma.
But most
lava.
stuff we're finding is ice.
Thank you, scientists. Right?
Cold.
Yeah.
But the fact that there's potentially billions of planets within just our galaxy, there has to be water out there somewhere. Earth can't be unique. The odds are stacked against Earth being unique.
Exactly. Anklo says it spins 10 times faster than Earth, so the Coriolis would be 10 times greater, causing storms that last for years. Anklo coming through with the high school facts there. I can't even say that word. Well, tell me what is that, Brad? What is he talking about?
You didn't watch The Simpsons where Bart goes to Australia? The Coriolis effect is why toilets flush counterclockwise in some hemispheres.
Okay, got you. So he's just making a Simpsons. He's too young for Simpsons. Sorry,
too young
but
for Simpsons.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Don't feel bad, but yeah, they're cheap.
But anyway, the Coriolis effect is related to the rotation of planets.
Oh, well, thank you. See? Look at Anklo knowing about the rotation of planets. Anod Meany says, water will still be a problem on the moon. No? What do you mean? Why would it be a problem?
Because we'd have to bring it there to live.
We can pee and make water.
That's
true. And then make the pee into water, and then make pee into water and water into pee. Because why would we do that when we have water that we can just take and exploit? We don't do it here because we don't want it. We don't want to drink up here unless we have to. But on the moon, we'll probably drink our pee. We'll probably filter our water and make pee. Why wouldn't we?
We'll likely have to.
Yeah, that's probably what we'll do. Well, okay, Arcaz, would Higgs boson help in interstellar travel? We're not discussing interstellar travel tonight, but that's a question. There you go, Brad.
I mean, the Higgs boson is one of those, like a potentially fundamental particle that I remember when that wasn't discovered yet, and they're like, "Holy shit, it might be like God particle that explains everything." And no, it's not. It's just another boson.
It's just a what?
A boson.
What does that mean?
It's a type of particle.
Well, and that's it.
I can't remember, but I used to be more knowledgeable about fermions and hadrons and mesons and bosons.
Particle discovery.
Like a phi meson and things like that.
Now I'm going to use ChatGPT. In July 4th, 2012.
You can just use Wikipedia. Just use Wikipedia. You don't need to use ChatGPT.
Oh my gosh, he's going to have a brain. Okay. Scientists announced the observation of the Higgs boson, the elusive particle that gives almost all other particles their mass, and thus lays the foundation for the matter that forms us and everything we see around us in the universe.
Yes.
But then what?
So some particles inherently have like they have many other.
It opened a
parameters.
whole
It's
new
kind of
branch of particle physics.
Yes. Okay. So like the electron is responsible for electromagnetism.
The neutron dance. Yeah.
So when we kind of discovered and observed the electron and what it does, we still kind of not figured it out entirely, but because it went from it's just spinning around the proton, and then maybe it's like a cloud of potential, like we don't know where it is, but it's somewhere around here. There's different theories on that kind of shit. But the fact that we know the electron is responsible for electromagnetism, and electrons running through a copper wire will induce a magnetic field, for example, we built technology that relies upon that science. So now that we discover more particles, we could potentially build other machines that rely upon that scientific knowledge that do crazier, better shit for humanity. So maybe the Higgs boson will be responsible for something. It's just too nascent in its development.
Wow, he used the word nascent, guys. He used the word nascent.
It's like a baby going like, holy shit, I have fingers and feet. And then it takes years for them to figure out how to use them properly, and then they can actually walk to a computer and type shit.
There you go. There you go. Are you speaking to the man on the moon? Just be ruthless.
I live on the moon. Hello.
Yeah, yes. And Archetype says, yes, B. His transmissions reach us once a week, every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And B says it makes sense now. And thank you for your response to the Higgs boson or whatever it's called, Brad, says Arc. Yeah.
No problem.
Okay.
Particle physics is cool.
Yeah, there you go, kids. Particle physics is cool. Don't listen to the people that tell you that it isn't. Okay.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of like chemistry, where it makes sense to understand how things can be constructed and how things work.
I have some things.
Anyone can sell shit, but how do you design shit if you don't know how stuff's going to work?
I have some pros and cons about. I have some calls here, Brett. No, I'm just kidding. I have some pros and cons about space.
Are we a call-in show now? Holy shit!
Can you imagine how cool that'd be?
You're on the air.
Right? No. What are the pros of space colonizations? Humans have a right and a moral duty to save our species from suffering and extinction. Yeah, but why aren't we doing that on Earth?
Who says that? Who said that?
That's a site, Britannica. Do you approve of Britannica.com? Do you approve of Britannica?
Chill out. I didn't know if that was someone in the chat saying we have a...
No. Nobody in the chat is talking about that. So what are they
saying? We have a moral
right. But that confuses me.
Who's the fuck?
That confuses me. But what confuses me...
We have a right to go pollute other planets?
No, a right to preserve humanity, but we're not doing it on Earth, so that confuses me.
Why? Why do we have a right to preserve humanity?
I don't know.
I don't agree with that.
A moral duty to save our species from suffering and extinction. Space colonization. The line's kicking in.
Maybe we should be worthy of saving, and then we'll do it. How about that?
I agree. Space colonization is the next logical step in space exploration and human growth. And 3, technological advancement into space can exist alongside conservation efforts on Earth. Oh, we'll tell that to the billionaires because they aren't doing that. But we agree. Yeah. Boy, we're getting feisty here. What do you guys think of that? Any thoughts from the class?
Maybe it'll be something like this.
Oh my god, I forgot it was this mission.
Say we figure out how to colonize and settle Mars. We go to Mars, and hundreds of years pass, and slowly Earth's population moves to Mars. And maybe humanity's future is kind of moving from planet to planet, and then getting like Earth's population is diminished because we're all busy going to Mars because Mars is the new hot shit. And Earth actually kind of repairs itself. That would be wonderful. And then that's what humanity does. We don't just spread like a virus and fuck everything up, cover it with cities and advertisements and shit. But we go from planet, not so much one at a time, but we kind of figure out that balance with nature where, there's not 7 or 8 billion people on Earth. There's more like 2 billion. And we're not in this constant struggle to fuck up the environment and destroy species. It'd be nice. And we kind of spread it that way. Oh, I should have brought the freaking the 500 kg. Okay, and then the planets that are totally inhospitable to life, like not even Mars. Mars is potentially hospitable, but like Mercury. I don't know Mercury's kind of no atmosphere at all. It's way too fucking hot, like that kind of shit. Why don't we turn that into a mining colony. Totally hollow it out. Build up a whole bunch of shit underground where it's a little bit safer, and then cover the top with fucking factories, reactors, spaceports, whatever.
I got okay. So
Is it
it's the
wrong to
first.
do that? It's kind of not a shithole, but it's like it's very hostile-like. So we wouldn't really be ruining it. We capitalizing on it.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I'm gonna die. Okay, so
Cover one whole half of Mercury with solar panels. There you go. Boom.
right.
About
There's
you,
so many
Snail?
things we could do. So catching up. Oh no, coming. Okay, it's the first law of human robotics. I don't remember what that was about in Domini because it's been so long. I'm sorry. And then Archetype says, "Oh no, coming through with the entertaining gameplay during the intelligent conversation." Look, I'm trying my best. B says, "Astronaut Man had a great radio voice." Astronaut Man.
Astronaut Man.
That's what you are now, Astronaut Man. Um,
That's okay.
And Brad says, no, Ark says Brad really does have a great voice. So do you, Ark. And then Tylea says, "Gods, I feel dumb. I have no clue what is being said." Welcome, Tylea, to the convo.
We're here to educate and inform. If you don't understand something, please ask, and we'll try to explain it.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about colonizing space. And Tylea and Ark says, "Oh yeah, he answered it." And Tylea said, "There's so much space out there. There's to be some kind of planet out there for us." And you're welcome.
The math adds up. There has to be.
Yeah.
Or it's extraordinarily likely that there is other stuff. Like
Other
that.
stuff and things.
Habitable planets that we could just,
exploit. Of course, I mean live on. Yeah.
Stop being so negative about exploitation.
So
Maybe
sorry.
by the time we actually figure out how to build a ship to get to another planet easily,
We'll be kind. We'll be kind to each other.
Capitalism, like all this kind of insidious, toxic human culture, will be long dead.
When was this? When I was talking about the, Star Trek hopes and dreams.
It might not be likely.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but I
Maybe
proved that you're
right.
You're
There'll be
right.
entire different clades of society.
Right? Maybe we'll be done in a different society. We'll take up and go, you know what? Going to different planets would be a good idea. So we can get away from the corpses of these awful people that existed here before.
We don't have to agree. There'll be people that think differently and be like, you know what? We're not going to be toxic.
Yeah, that sounds good. Exactly. We can hope and dream. Oh, shit. Sorry about that.
And then different people are like, you know what? I'm going to mix my genetics with dolphins so I can swim. Maybe a dolphin person.
What kind of wine is that? Can I have some? I'm just saying. Oh my goodness.
Right. I'm honestly thinking of other like science fiction and.
It's probably
RPG.
been done or written about. Like honestly, people, you can contribute that stuff as well as connect to Helldiver lore. So there we go. Telly said, "I'm a firm believer that there has to be some kind of planet." Oh yeah, I read that. And Ark said, "I mean, the odds are definitely in our favor. The habitable planet exists. Getting to them, discover them is a problem. Humans are the problem. Is my opinion. In my opinion, yeah. I think a lot of us agree with you on that, or at least me and Brad agree with you on that.
Humans are the problem, but also humans are the solution.
I know it's not fucked up.
Terrible and also beautiful things. So
there you go. Oh my God, deep thoughts with Brad. There you go. That's true. God, we both have hit.
Stick with the good side.
Well, we don't though. We don't. But yes, that would be good.
Sometimes.
Okay, so we got me running out of time if I don't go, I guess. Oh shit, I wasn't close enough. Oh, sorry. And then we have, what if aliens come here and find our planet habitable? Well, I guess then you have War of the Worlds there, in Domini. What if they already have been here? What if they spliced with us? Huh? What if? That's a whole different topic there.
What if we're here because we came from an alien planet?
Yeah, what if we seeded out, like the way Terminids have been seeded out, and we aren't actually from Earth? There's hypothesis about that. Okay, so Talia said, "I would be all for aliens coming to colonizing as long as they can tolerate living in peace with us." That is, yeah, I doubt it because we would ruin it right away. I mean, Super Earth has set a precedent of how we will not get along with other beings.
Fire the first shot.
Yeah, we will fire the first shot out of fear because we'll assume that they're going to shoot the first shot and we'll ruin it. That's what will happen. Archetype says there's a dichotomy in the human problem solution dynamic. Good to think on. Yeah, it was kind of beautiful thought, eh? And he said, rules of nature, we fight the aliens for survival. Likely so. And B says, does Spaceman believe Bob Lazar? Bob Lazar.
Oh, that name is familiar, but I can't remember.
You
off the top
get
of my
out
head.
and you're typing. Get your typing out.
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna have to go type now. Hold on a second.
Bob Lazar. Oh my gosh. Oh, Eric. Okay. He is a
The first result
physicist.
says Area 51 and flying saucers, Apple TV. I'm walking away.
Yeah, he is an American conspiracy theorist. He claimed to have been part of a classified U.S. government project. I'm reading Wikipedia. Okay. I'm gonna die, aren't I?
Okay,
I'm gonna die. Yeah, you
So our
looked
claim
up.
has been part of a classified U.S. government project concerned with reverse engineering of extraterrestrial technology. He also purported to have read government briefing documents that described alien involvement in
He
human
also
affairs
took
for the past
acid.
10,000 years.
Guessing.
But maybe acid opened your mind to the possibility that this could have happened.
Exactly.
Okay, so that is another, like it's been talked about in several science fiction theories and stories. It's almost a trope. The whole humans are here because another species brought humans here.
Yeah, which is even in
Millions
aliens.
or thousands of years ago, and they were
Ark
just like,
says,
okay,
just walk away, Brad. Ark said, just walk away, Brad, to B's question. Just walk away, Brad. No, you don't have...
That is a common, whether you want to call it a conspiracy or not, that is a common theory that the whole Roswell crash in 1947 spurred on the immense technological breakthroughs that we saw after that in the 50s and 60s. Like, where did the whole silicon chip revolution come from?
Well, there you go. So, do you kind of believe in that?
But it's like, at the same time, okay, my counter argument would be, okay, before Roswell, which was in 1947, we had, Enrico Fermi and Albert Einstein kind of figured out nuclear physics in the 30s, and then within a decade, because we were spurred on by war, we had atomic weapons.
Yeah, because
So
war
maybe it's
did
just the fact
do a
that-
lot.
I mean, that completely accelerated, or like, we gotta nuke Jerry, otherwise he's gonna nuke us first. So that completely got us kind of on the ball on development of technology,
Yep.
just like jet engines. We had jet engines 35 years after the first flight? We didn't even know how to fly airplanes yet, and then suddenly we went from, the Wright brothers shooting a catapult 100 feet in their glider to the Messerschmitt ME-262 shooting down T-51s and stuff. So it's kind of like, if we really want to, we can figure it out. It doesn't have to be a conspiracy theory or outside forces like aliens giving us technology. Not to say that that's not possible.
Although that did happen in Helldivers too, just to tie it in.
But I think that's down to human creativity, where people are trying to think of, how did we get X, Y, Z? Well, maybe this, maybe that, maybe this other thing. Okay, well, if it's a science fiction story, all of them are equally possible or likely. You almost have to decide what you want to believe in a story like that.
B says, I spent hours down the Bob Lazar rabbit hole. You could have been spending time learning about things instead, but I get it.
That's a way of learning.
Sure. Unless you go down the wrong rabbit holes. Ark says, if we did indeed originate from another world, wow, boy, we're off of. That would explain why we were intelligent enough to train canines to fetch our spears for faster reloads.
Yeah, but that might have taken thousands of years of conditioning. We were throwing spears at stuff. It's like, hey, that animal doesn't totally fucking hate us, and we can kind of teach it to do stuff. Ow, it bit me. Okay, let's try to be a little, maybe we'll talk to it a different way, or not fucking constantly throwing rocks and shit at it, and we'll get it to kind of hang out with us, like us. Maybe we'll feed it, and it'll be our friend.
Maybe they were lonely and they just wanted it.
That's like Neolithic scientific theory.
Yeah.
Figuring out different ways to get stuff accomplished is science. You don't need technology, you just need your mind.
So in the Illuminates, in Helldivers, we're using the Illuminates FTL technology, right? Along with the Terminid oil farms, and that's how we have been colonizing planet after planet.
Yep.
Okay, so that's in the Helldiver lore. In real life, it seems to me what I'm getting is that what we should be doing is going to Mars first, correlating them with, no, going to the moon first, lunar bases. Got it. Then getting Mars set up, although it seems to be simultaneous. We do have an international space station. Maybe we should have another extraterrestrial habitat up there. I don't know why the big money guys aren't thinking about that, of having another settlement up there in space. I don't understand. Why don't we have more than just the one space station? What's going on there? Is there more than one space station? Or is there just the International Space Station?
There was several.
What?
Well, there was Mir, the Russian one, first.
It was first? What happened to it? What happened? I know, Prometheus is a great movie, I agree. Oh, we lost Brad. Brad is gone. Brad, he's coughing or something. Are you okay?
No. Yep.
He's doing human sounds off mic, I guess.
So yeah, Mir existed first. Mm-hmm. Then I think it was Soyuz or Skylab. It was Skylab as well. America built Skylab. So we've had a couple like very small, kind of primitive space stations, basically. Mm-hmm. The International Space Station's hanging out up there. The Chinese built Tianlong. I don't think that's operational anymore. It's the same kind of thing. They built it like, hey, this works, we could totally do it, and then, we didn't maintain it, and it deorbited and burned up in the atmosphere and crashed somewhere. Aww. Probably in an ocean. So space debris is actually littering Earth, not just space.
Wonderful. We're doing great then. Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like building more, it only makes sense to, because like we're talking about the moon being a stepping stone to other planets in the solar system, orbit is fucking literally right there. Mm-hmm. I don't know like everyone, including you that's in this chat, is further away to me than space.
Oh.
The space station's only like 200 miles up. You are 500 kilometers away. Space is like 150 kilometers away.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-hour drive if you could drive straight up. So just to say, space is not that far away, so it only makes sense.
It feels far away.
Like we were talking about, factories and space stations, so that we don't have to build it on Earth and then spend a lot of fuel and energy getting into space. Just build it in space, and you're already in space.
Well, there you go. Okay, to catch up, said, LOL, Brad, the explanation of how animals don't have that much, maybe we can teach them stuff. And then, or the explanation, yeah. B says Prometheus is a great movie. I agree. I'm a big fan of all the Aliens movies, honestly. Ark says, I wonder what would be more efficient in the grand scheme of colonization, making a whole... I appreciate that you're helping us keep on topic, Ark. In the scheme of colonization, making a whole slew of self-sustaining worlds or harvesting the resources from those planets and sending them back to Earth. Okay, wonder what would be more efficient.
I think that sending it back to Earth would be, like, costly in terms of energy and time.
So just...
But it
depends who's still on Earth.
But that has historical analogies because, the Dutch and the English and the French would send fleets out, and it's kind of different because there was people already there, but they basically took their cool shit, like spices and fabrics and whatnot, and were like, oh, they brought it back to the home country and people went apeshit for it. Tea came from India, but Britain was like, holy fuck, we love this stuff.
It's ours now.
So but anyway, that's ours now. So there might be some sort of, we find something on a different planet, and it's like, holy shit, this is the new hot shit. Get it back to Earth so we can do more stuff with it.
And that would make complete sense. That would be
because it would be very human, but because of how at least the solar system is like this, it might not be food.
It might be.
It's probably not going to be like plants growing on Mars or Titan or Europa or Callisto. It might be minerals that are in such low quantity on Earth. It's like, oh, we can't do stuff with that, and we don't know where all of these are. But then we find a huge amount on a moon of Saturn or Jupiter, and we're like, holy crap, get this back to Earth so we can make stuff out of it. We know what to do with this. We just needed more of it. Now we found it.
Aw.
So a case like that, it might be actually worthwhile.
In my
And then in
opinion,
that case,
oh,
okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'll continue after that. I
I
gotta
was going
pick
to
up
say,
my box.
instead of having to waste energy on like rockets sending humans out, we would build kind of like an interplanetary like catapult system of like mass driver launchers to shoot, cargo modules back to Earth, and obviously like an opposite to slow them down, so we can catch them, so to speak. But yeah, basically a transit network of cargo. Like, holy shit, mine this stuff on
Oh, and we totally would do that. We totally would do it.
Triton, or it might be a moon farther out in the solar system, so kind of really far away, like a load of Neptune or Pluto or something like that, or the Kuiper belt of the asteroid belt, where we find stuff, and it's like, holy crap, this is actually worth a lot technologically or mineralogically. Yeah, that's a good Scrabble word.
I challenge you on that one. Just saying.
But I don't know if you have enough letters for that. I'm thinking it's on the board.
Okay.
But yeah, it would be something that we really could use. And maybe it's something like, hey, we could use this to make better spaceships. Or we could use this to make better shielding to protect humans in space. So it'll just kind of accelerate the process.
There you go. I personally think we probably, if we found something that we wanted to have on Earth, and if the people who had the money that wanted that stuff on Earth, we would be sending it to Earth for sure.
Oh, we totally would.
But I also see the way that we would probably, I see the other perspective as well being possible. I see them both being plausible depending on what we're capable of.
But in either case, it would either be making people rich because they would be able to build stuff, or it would be a luxury commodity.
Exactly.
Like spices or tea or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Which eventually becomes just no norm, right? I have to get out of here. I'm going to die. Got it. Hold, please. And then I have to catch up with people's
Like a couple
comments.
hundred years ago, hundreds of thousands of people died for paprika. Like, was it worth it?
Oh, God.
I don't know,
Paprika?
maybe?
But then we also like paprika, isn't it?
I know.
It's
But,
been
like,
in...
was it worth genocide? No.
Oh, you mean that way? I was like, they had paprika and died? Like, that's horrible.
it's
They were all allergic at the same time? I forgot there were wars. So, sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like war and enslavement and stuff.
Okay, so that was bad then.
Hey, buddy, nice to meet you, but we really want your stuff, and you keep putting up a fight, so sorry.
I was just thinking of
Here
people...
come the cannons.
Oh, that's horrible. But why did I think of just a bunch of people having paprika and dying? That's like allergic.
Take
That's
break
it.
paprika epidemic of 1782.
Right? Like, oh my god. Oh, this guy's
No,
gonna...
I'm talking about the Spice Islands.
Oh, shit. No. Oh, you son of a bitch. You die, mother... Okay, hold on. Sorry. I am...
Okay, see, that's like that humanistic nature we were talking about earlier, where we just want to kill shit.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to survive.
Yeah, we should.
Just... Because I've been doing this while I talk to you.
Why fight? You'll just die tired.
Why fight? You'll just die tired. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, everybody. I'm catching up. So, all right. So, scrolling back up to, I missed a lot. Hold on. I'm catching up, guys. Okay. So B is in the UK. Enjoy the solar eclipse, says Ark. Thank you, Ark. It's today. I'm like forward to it. Okay. Yep. Okay, got it. Yeah, there's a solar eclipse. Ark looks forward to... Yeah, when's the solar eclipse, guys? I think I already mentioned it. Did I mention it? Yeah, I mentioned it in the last episode. I said it would be. I said there'd be an eclipse. It's March 29th. It occurs... I mentioned it in the last... Yeah, I did mention this. It's a partial eclipse. A stunning sunrise spectacle. Yeah.
So when there's a bullshit giant storm supposed to happen here, and I can't even see the sky, let alone an eclipse.
Yeah, as usual. Yeah.
Thanks, Canadian weather.
only some of the sun will be covered by the moon. It will be a partial solar eclipse. It will look like the moon is
Come
taking
back
an
when you're a total
ever-increasing bite
eclipse.
out of the sun. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mentioned that on last week's podcast, B. If you'd been here, you would have known. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for
That's like
enjoying
watching like a
the
partial movie trailer. I want to see the whole thing. Here's a partial pizza. No.
Wait, but it looks like a christened thumbnail. Come on now, don't diss it till you try it. I'm just saying.
So does the moon several times a month.
That is true. That is true. But it's the sun. By the way, you know what, Mister? Don't ruin the partial solar eclipse for these guys.
Don't look at the sun, folks. Get a pinhole camera or
So
something.
glad I stumbled upon this channel, enjoying this chat. Spaceman knows his stuff, says B. Oh, that's really great. Thanks for enjoying, Brad. He's never here except on Fridays, so the rest of the time it's me. But thank you for joining. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, they're enjoying you. Brian says, "Hey there, doll. Hi, Brian. Hope you're doing good." Well, because if the guy's here to enjoy you, you're only here once a week, so like, you'll have to tune in on Fridays. Yeah. I mean, because, but I'm glad you found us. That's fantastic, because we're here all week, except for Brad. He's only here on Friday. There you go. Arch is saying, feel free to subscribe. Oh, thanks, guys. Anyway, that's no subscription for you, Brad. I'm just saying that's subscribing to me for you. That's kind of interesting.
Yep. Vicarious subscriptions.
Yeah, vicarious.
I discovered Waterworld. Holy shit. Sorry.
Where? Oh, where? Which? Oh, yes. Please update us about what sector you are in on the in Elite Dangerous. While I am out here, being an evil person on, against the Illuminate. I would appreciate that. Brian said, I'm already sub. She good, people entertaining, always has me laughing. Oh, that's cool, Brian. Thanks. Well, I enjoy watching all the so you're good too. Oh, no. Oh, good stuff, B. Yeah, usually I'm not on this low level. Just, yeah, Brian's from the Hot Ring community. All right, back to the topic. Oh, okay. Where were you again, Brad, in space? He's on Elite Dangerous, which we have done in a previous episode. I was supposed to meet him part way, but I stopped. Where are you, Brad? Where are you? Where's your water world?
Still pretty far on the other side.
But what part of the galaxy or sector? Where are you? Did I do the thing?
A lot of the system names are like procedurally generated, so it's not very pronunciation friendly.
Oh,
and yeah, it's hypothetical because we can't even see this part of the galaxy from Earth.
Okay.
I can't remember what the term is. But basically, like, we look out into space with telescopes and whatnot, or even in the night sky, and you're like, holy crap, there's so many stars out there, you can't see through all the stars to see the other stars on the other side of the stars.
Okay, gotcha. So basically, he's not going to tell us where he is.
I was going to get a screenshot. But on the other side of the galactic center, it's not the area of the void, it's called. Well, we basically can't see there because there's too much radio noise and obviously visual light from the millions and millions of stars that are in that direction. Imagine if you were in a parking lot with 100 million candles, and you're on one side trying to identify a candle in
the wind. Yeah,
feet away.
Gotcha.
You'd be like, no, there's too many other things in the way, I can't see it. Kind of like that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So the region I'm in is called the Formorian Frontier.
Fire in the hole. A little shadow liberty.
And how far are you away from me? Are you able to tell?
I can't even zoom out far enough to see the whole galaxy, really.
Oh, that's...
are you in... You're
not
somewhere
in the game.
between Blue Thuya and Omega Sector, or are you at Blue Thuya yet?
I'm in the middle of space. I don't know where I am now, because I'm not there anymore.
Every point in space is potentially the middle of space.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of space.
I'll tell you how far I am away from Earth.
Okay. I did the thing. I did a thing, guys. I don't want to go... No, I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way.
52,970 light years.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. That's good. Okay, so...
So most of the stars you can see in the night sky, if you look up, even like the predominant ones, like Rigel and Betelgeuse and like Big Dipper, stuff like that, those are like maybe thousands or hundreds of light years away.
Aww.
So even with really powerful telescopes, you probably can't see where I am.
Oh, well,
But if you
yeah.
look out into other parts of space, like the parking lot analogy, you turn around and you look into empty space, you can see across an empty field, which is space in between galaxies, into other galaxies.
Ah.
So we can see crazy far that way. We've seen things, hundreds of millions, if not billions of light years away, because there's not much in the way to obscure them.
So basically, guys, you guys can't see Brad. He's too far away. There you go.
Nice full space.
Moving back up to it, Ark says, I wish I could join you all in Elite. Not that I would randomly invite myself, but it's sad that the developer focuses more on PC than console. I think we would all have fun. Yeah, you're on.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, Ark, you're on PC and I'm on, console. It is too bad because
so many friends stop playing Elite because they're like, well, there's not going to be any updates.
Brian complimented me. It was easy to talk to. Most genuine, good people are. Oh, thanks, Brian. Been a while since we talked. Been a while since I've had a good hot ring list, actually. Been in there. Brad got excited about Water Planet. Yeah, water planets are fun to find on
they're pretty rare.
As exploration. Yeah, like that's what I'm into as well, like the exploration of on Elite Dangerous. Deadcom says I made it.
If you explore a planet in Elite Dangerous and you go and map it, you get your name on it. It says, you discovered this. You're the first person in this game to see this place.
Brad is too far away, says Ark. Why is Brad too far away, says Tylea? He's in Elite Dangerous. He's in space because he's flown his ship that far?
Playing a space game. So in the space game, you could literally, the entire galaxy is a playable area. You can fly as far away as you want, or just hang around in the Earth, or do other crazy stuff like combat.
Not to piss you off, Brad, but the PC people got to work on colonization on the PC version.
Yeah, I'm not part of the PC master race.
So fuck them. Oh my goodness.
That also happened in the console.
Yeah.
Like there were, like Jacques Station of Colonia. That was a player initiative. Like, hey,
was I here for that? I think I might have been there for that. I might have just missed it.
Bring this material out here so we can physically build the space station in the game, and they did.
Dropping a pin.
There you go. Moving on. Brian says this game's kind of growing on me. Just had to get into other shooter games when I'm on COD Warzone so fast. Helldivers is awesome. I mean, it's got its things about it, but I want to jump in that hole so bad, guys. But it's a great game. I mean, sorry, I'll quit blowing up your chat, guys. No, Brian, you're doing fine. We're on discussion. So he is playing a game then? Yes, Tylea, he is a gamer. Brad is a gamer. He's playing Elite Dangerous. Yes. Feel free to stay, Brian. Brian probably wants to hot ring, I'm guessing. Not in real life, out in space? No, Tylea. He is on planet Earth playing a space game called Elite Dangerous in real life.
Maybe in the future we'll be exploring real space.
Yeah. I mean, when... Yeah. Where's the thing that I'm hearing? On the other side of the wall? Okay, so back to space colonization. I'm curious about what you're... Okay. We know the cons. We already know the cons. Like, we're all going to die out there. We can ruin everything. But astronomers have warned... We're going to die here, exactly, which is why we want to do it.
Life.
A philosopher of science explains how the industry could explore other planets without exploiting them, because astronomers have warned against colonial practices in the space industry. What is that about? What is that about?
So that's like those who don't learn from history will be doomed to repeat it.
And we'll just do it in space.
We kind of
so it's like slavery, but in space, and all that same bullshit.
We kind of still, obviously, like for good reasons, feel guilty and bad about
all the bad shit we do? Yeah.
And like completely destroying indigenous populations or fucking up the environment every time we go anywhere, literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Making animals extinct, even though they kind of happen on their own regardless. But like,
we still... No, exactly.
No, they do.
Yeah,
we just don't help by being ignorant about it.
No,
so yeah, we
have
to learn. We have to learn to...
We're not going to learn, though.
As a presence, but minimize our impact.
Do you think, oh, that's a thing? Maybe we have had alien life space colonizers because maybe they know how to minimize their presence and impact on us.
Or they're so technologically advanced we don't even tell
See
they're
them?
around.
Because they're in a different dimension? Oh my god. Okay, we're getting off topic,
Or they
but
just have stealth. They could just be in
they're
orbit, be
stealth
like,
mode
hey,
like the Illuminati. They could be
your
stealth guys.
shitty satellites and radar
I
don't
died.
even know how we operate.
Exactly.
Or
Wouldn't that be
can't see
great?
us.
Now I'm thinking of They Live with Roddy Piper in it. Anybody remember that? Anyway.
No.
Oh my
Or
god.
maybe they've, like, aliens have visited, but it's kind of like if, you know...
And they were like,
if you,
nope.
If you park a car near an anthill, do the ants go like, oh my god, what's that giant ship? Or do they even fucking notice?
Right? Right?
That's what it would be like. Aliens to us, it would be like us interacting with ants.
Exactly.
Do they have the mental capacity to even understand what the hell's going on? Maybe.
No, we wouldn't notice. Have a good night at work, Ark. Thank you all incredibly much for being here, everyone, and to Brad Ono for hosting the podcast this arc. Thanks for contributing and keeping us on topic for a while there. And Tylee is going into Valheim. Well, have fun. And Ark says, hope you have a good shift, mate. It's been nice to meet you. Have fun, guys. A pleasure. Hope to see you again. Take care. Okay, bye.
What is
Bye.
Valheim?
That's
Sounds
a
like
video game that Tylea plays.
Okay, it sounds kind of Norse.
Probably.
Or maybe some
It's a video
museum.
game. Right? It's a video game, yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
But,
Yeah, it's a video game she plays.
yeah.
I wanted to know what you were excited to talk about regarding colonization, since you wanted this to be the first one in the topic of space colonization or colonizing in space.
Well, we were talking about, like, okay, if we're going to keep continuing this kind of discussion,
which would be lovely.
It makes sense for you to kind of go in order of how it would be done.
So
yeah, we could talk about
explain that to us, please.
Time travel and stuff like that. But like the first thing
Later
would be we need to actually go out there and do that.
So please talk to us a little bit more about that for those of us who are just joining and or would like to hear your voice explaining to us.
So we talked about
your thoughts on it.
We briefly mentioned solar sails.
Yeah, like we didn't even really get into solar sails. So please.
So it's an analogy of like a sailboat. It's just a giant sail, but people that are like scientists and technologists that are actually like, hey, let's work on how we would build this thing in the reals. It would literally be miles across in order to actually push something that we actually want to attack.
They have used sails in some movies. They've used that as a, like I said, in the Aliens film.
But the difference between that and now is how are we physically and technically going to do that? How do we make something that's like 20 times the size of a football field that's only a couple molecules thick? Do we know how to even do that? How do we physically figure that out? And like we mentioned, building things in space, we would have to build it in space, probably. Because maybe it's too delicate to put inside of a rocket and then deploy in space.
Oh, yeah, because of the material it'd be made of, which is still...
Okay, some people going camping can't even figure out how to put together a tent. We want to build something the size of a city that's only a molecule thick in space that folds out of a rocket? Like come on.
We haven't really thought this stuff out yet.
We got to make...
They're just serious.
Not so much we have to make things easy, but it's more like the less things are prone to error, the more likely it will succeed. So try to eliminate, mistakes before they happen. Robust, foolproof technology.
What were some other things?
But, well, even solar sails. Say we figure out how to build solar sails, either unfurl them like a big umbrella or build them in space and actually connect stuff to it. It would start really, really slow, but eventually it would push things. So maybe like cargo varies. Like, okay, we have rockets, whether they're ion or fusion or nuclear or chemical. And we have rockets bringing people to Mars, or the moon, or the asteroid belt, other places. And then once we have kind of established bases, we're like, okay, now we need to send more stuff out there to help them build this stuff. We can use solar sails to slowly. Here you go. Here's a whole, moon base worth of stuff. It'll just take a bit to get there. Don't rush, because you have other shit to do, whether it's experiments or kind of sit in your safe subterranean moon base and remote control the lunar rover to, clear out a landing area for your cargo pods, that kind of stuff. Everything's going to take time.
I sent you invites saying, Chloe, don't keep coming, so you are in. I keep sending invites. Well then, okay. So then, if it was up to you for space for colonizing space, where we're at right now, what do we need to do right now? Where would we go from here? And what do you think the timeline would be if it was the perfect situation? If things were right.
Okay, I'm not going to say perfect, but maybe an ideal situation.
Ideally, yeah, ideal.
We're going to socially and mentally evolve slower than technology will be developed. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. Unless there's some sort of like spiritual awakening or, mass epiphany where we're like, you know what, we shouldn't be assholes to people in nature. Why can't we all just get along, guys? So I think the first thing would be just we need to get excited about it again.
We're not.
I don't think. I'm just thinking about it because okay, so say we get a bunch of people excited about going to Mars, like it's still just going to be a really dusty kind of. You can't just go outside and have a refreshing drink and see the sunset like you can on a patio or something like that. People ultimately like to relax and have fun with their friends and family and loved ones and stuff like that.
They do? So, I've never heard of that, but okay.
It's kind of like...
Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Going to another planet or a moon or something like that for the sake of exploration will drive us, but it won't kind of keep us there.
I think it'll still come down to profit. If they feel they can profit...
Yeah, profit will start it. Well, okay, think of it this way. Like, a lot of cities that we live in, especially North American listeners, were colonies. England built ships and left England to be like, what's over there? We're going to go get that. So I liken that to an analogy to space. We know there's shit out there. We just have to go, and it was about profit. We're going to go either take land from
or take spices or take tea or take.
We don't like Spain or we don't like France. We're going to go take their shit, or at least we're going to go get stuff so that they don't have it. That might be a big part of it.
And that's kind of what's happening right now.
Because they don't want other countries to get what's on the moon. Or be like, you know what? You had your chance and you fucked it up. Now it's our turn. We're going to go get it. You snooze, you lose.
Right? And that does seem to be what kind of probably is going to happen. Oh my god. Alright.
It might be like Brazil and India might colonize Mars. Because by the time we have technology that can make it kind of feasible,
it's
not
ours.
just what people are talking about.
Says B, yeah. Here's the thing. So colonial practices, that does seem to be a question.
It's happened over and over.
But yeah, environmental concerns. A SpaceX Starship explosion in April 2023 damaged an estimated 385 acres of land, waterways, turtles, and birds, not to mention cars, houses, and human lungs. SpaceX Constant Rock, that was in April 2023. It decimated the wetlands. It decimated the wetlands of Boca Chica, Texas. A SpaceX Starship explosion in April 2023 damaged an estimated 385 acres of land. People, human lungs, Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So, yeah.
Yeah, rocket fuel's kind of poisonous. It's not very good to be around rocket explosions.
Well, that
I think
rocket.
one of the largest non-nuclear explosions was a Russian rocket.
Calling down a
Oh,
sentry.
Like the Russian, I think, was the Nema or whatever the Russian equivalent to the Saturn V that they were building. Like the Russians are going to go to the moon. It's 1970 or whatever it was back in the Cold War. They built a rocket and it kept faltering.
hmm
So fully loaded with fuel, it basically exploded on the launch pad after it started falling over.
hmm
Like it took off and then maybe 45 feet in the air, it started leaning over and it blew up. Like
Fire in the hole.
I think it was something like after a not insignificant amount of time, we're like, okay, it's safe to go out and we're going to start investigating what the fuck happened. It was still raining rocket fuel because so much unexploded fuel
Oh gosh.
was projected into the atmosphere. It was raining rocket fuel on people.
Raining men. Hallelujah. Exactly.
Not quite.
Okay.
So
wow.
yeah, the whole
Close.
part of, like we've mentioned several times, we should just build stuff in space would eliminate that danger. It would turn it into a different danger where it could fall out of space onto us, but at least there wouldn't be the potential for explosions on the ground because all of that stuff is up in space.
Good point. Good point. Good point.
Got a sample.
Maybe part of the safety mechanism would be, okay, we'll have a fleet of ships to either intercept.
We have an interjection. I'm sorry. It is archetypal saying solar winds will be caught by these mylar sails. Oh, but B says, so is Mars the most likely planet we will go to first and solar winds?
Yes.
Okay. I enjoy archetype. Sorry you have to go to work. That'd be too bad. I enjoyed
I like the
your...
mylar sales interjection because mylar is
Oh, well,
space nylon. Mylar is the I think it's the.
are you guys nerding out again? Is that what's happening? Do you guys need a room?
We were talking about space exploration, so we're
I
all
know.
nerding out.
I know, but you and Ark just like nerd out. It's kind of fun to watch. I'm just
It's like
saying.
nylon. Nylon was a what's the name of that? I can't remember the word for that.
What injury?
Not prototype.
Oh, you should see what wine does to him. He forgets words. Just kidding. Why aren't you Googling it? I'm just kidding. What is the word?
Throwing supply beacon.
The bird?
Reloading.
Oh, I lost.
No,
Sorry.
but like nylon and Kleenex, where it was copyrighted, but it became so prevalent that it's kind of just worked its way into everyday speech. People don't say a tissue; they say a Kleenex. You know what I mean? Even though
Oh
Kleenex
yeah,
is
even though it was a
trademark name.
brand. Exactly.
So
That is.
mylar is like a trademarked thing. It has a specific, chemical composition formula, whatever you want to call it, for this ultra thin material that we're probably going to maybe use for sales.
I got
Mylar.
something. That's kind of nice that you guys could nerd out on that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So, what are the 5 negative effects of colonialism? Oh, environmental degradation. Are they talking about space colonization? Will it
They're
solve
analogous,
over
so-
an argument for? Okay, you did touch upon this, so that we might be able to. What's the reason for them choosing Mars out of all the planets? Says B, because it's closest, isn't it?
It's the closest that won't totally kill us when we get there.
Requesting sentry.
Yeah, the one that won't kill us. That's kind of a top priority. Like, will it kill us less than the other planets? Let's hope so. Like, that seems like a key point, right?
It's kind of like, okay, we're going to go to a club tonight. Should we go to the club that kind of has expensive liquor, or the club where there's all the shootings and stabbings?
Yeah.
You probably want to go to the one that might be a little more expensive, but you're not going to die at.
Well, possibly.
Mars is less lethal than Venus, so we'll probably go there
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. That whole acid thing not being great.
Yeah, raining
And-
battery acid and
Hallelujah. I'm sorry. That puts a song. Puts a song in my head. Raining Men. Sorry. It's not my fault. See, it's in your head now? No?
No, get into song right.
Okay, a different song? Okay. Somebody put a different song in my head. Okay. So yeah, the impacts of overpopulation. Okay. Wait, I missed you guys. Okay, everyone, I think I have a female interest in me, so I'm not sure, but I'm praying. Okay, Dad, thanks for sharing with the class. Uh, anyway, um, good for you. I mean,
There's something here.
I think there's a female interested in me as well. Do we bro out now? I'm just saying. I don't know. The guy's off topic. Okay, going on. There's a planet that's like
Next
Earth, but
caller.
200 miles per hour, and it rains molten glass. Pretty sure. Okay, so we're moving along here. We're already feeling the sadness of Arch leaving the chat. Immediate lowering of IQ, and I'm so sorry. All right, so going back.
I mean, if there's a planet with a silicon atmosphere and it's really hot, it would literally rain glass.
Oh, well, then there you go. So this guy was right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, it's hypothetical, so
Why
it's
we
a valid idea. You can't
Oh
really
my
say
God.
something's right.
I'm going to a
It's
question
a
mark.
hypothesis.
It's a hypothesis, okay. Raining glass, I mean, I wouldn't want to live there, I suppose. That would hurt. But would it be glass as we think of
Found
it?
something.
Or is that just... What?
I mean, the word glass, lowercase
We
g, has
made
a lot
glass.
of different forms.
Like, I'm like, wait, glass is something we made. Like,
If lightning strikes a beach, it makes glass.
oh yeah, that's right. Okay,
Glass,
okay. Now
glass
I
is
feel
something we
silly.
named.
I feel silly. I get it. I remember now. Look. I've been fasting for over a day. Give me a chance. Give me a chance.
We know how to
Okay.
make it in specific shapes.
Oh god, we got a
and
glitch.
Down.
Anklo, you're glitching. Keep it up, Anklo. You look great. Sorry about that. It's probably decapitated too. Let's go. Okay, I got this. Okay, so. Okay. Okay. So I guess the theory is that we will. What? The process of cyborgization, that is of technology to modify and enhance our bodies and brains? Oh, is that being discussed regarding the possibility of colonizing space? Is that one of the only ways, because of the health factors to do with it, that we might
That
have
could
to
be
think
it.
about?
Calling down
Is that we'd have to have modified bodies? Oh my
It's
god,
one
is that why
idea.
the brain thing? You might not be wrong about that whole theory about Mr. Stupid Head, Tesla guy, because not only that, all that stuff, but remember the chip as well and all that? Oh, what if you're right? What if you're right? Theory.
It's like a potential idea.
Yeah, working along with it, right? Body modification in that way. Oh god, but I want this gold beam. You may as well go to extract Anklo. I'll be there if I don't make it. Don't leave without me, but leave without me if you have to. Sorry about that. So they'd have to, because that's part of the environmental factors, right? It was only requisition slips. I'm on my way. I'm on my way to... Okay, so I don't know what that was about. Humanity sped through the species diversification. Wouldn't that be cool? Anyway. But we're not very good at diversifying right now, so let's not talk about that. So the moon, the Mars, and then they were looking at beyond Mars. The Obama administration had an ambitious plan, the asteroid redirect mission, which called for capturing part of an asteroid and bringing it back to the vicinity of the moon so that astronauts could land on it and retrieve samples. But the project was canceled in 2017 by the Trump administration.
That seems really ambitious.
That was ambitious, but
we
it
have,
would have been
like,
great if we'd
humans have
done it.
Sentry.
Why?
Why not?
Calling in
So you're for just doing stuff for the sake of doing it?
No. I
Not
think that
like
they
environmental
wanted an
preservation?
asteroid back into the vicinity of the moon so the astronauts could land on it and retrieve samples of the
But we
asteroid.
did that with a spacecraft. We sent a spacecraft. I think it was Hayabusa. Japan sent one. It
Oh,
landed,
well, look,
on,
even smarty pants.
landed on an asteroid or a comet, or maybe there was different missions that did one and the other.
I risk over
And
the board.
and a little, drill scooped up some stuff, and it's fired a probe back with that sample on it. It's like, hey, we got pieces of a comet or an asteroid. But sending humans there, that seems extremely cost inefficient, like in terms of energy and time.
Oh, I see a gold
What do we
beam.
consider a robot to do that?
There's a gold beam in the distance. Anklo, do you see it? It's far away. It's there. Oh, I have to go for it. I'll miss you. Will
the
it
gold
leave
beam?
without me? I have to get the gold beam. But it says if we're going to colonize a planet in another star system, we have to answer 2 questions. First, do any other Earth-like planets even exist outside of our solar system? The answer is yes.
It's mathematically
Kepler also proved
unlikely
it.
for that to not happen.
Also, Kepler proved it.
Kepler did prove it.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's that.
The Hipparcos satellite was looking, but more recently Kepler and WISE is going to do that too.
Yeah, so, yeah, 2,700 planets. Exoplanets. Okay. Okay, so there we go.
There's actually a neat infographic that kind of has them all like by color, I think it is.
Oh my gosh.
It literally looks like a big fucking rainbow of planets. Hundreds and hundreds of them.
I have to follow you, Anklo, because it's hilarious.
Follow me into the golden light.
Anklo's... How far is that golden... Look at Anklo in his, he's got a... What is this? Oh my god. He threw a bomb at me. I feel betrayed. Alright then. So, I'm going to close that tab. Because, whatever. Other arguments. Spread life and beauty throughout the universe. Yeah, as if we're gonna. Ensure survival of species. Make money. Yeah, we already know it'll be about making money.
We don't need arguments for or against. I thought we were talking about how it's going to be done.
Well, then tell me how it's going to be done, because I'm waiting to hear.
We're already doing that.
I don't know. Do you think we need first contact? To really get that far?
Like for what? Do we need it for what?
To really get us that far? To get us to actually do it?
That far to what?
To progress to be able to do that.
No.
You think we're going to be able to do it ourselves?
We, given enough time, yeah. Because we're an explorative.
It's like, duh.
Well, no, but that was just a weird question. Do we need first contact to, like, what? Go into space? We already went into space.
I know, but we haven't gone far enough.
Would it totally, like, polarize society and be like, holy shit, let's rally and stop fighting so we can kill those fucking weird aliens? Absolutely.
Yes, wouldn't that be cool? I don't want to kill aliens, but...
Even if they're not hostile, we'd totally be like, fuck that, they're gonna come here and take our shit. Because that's how humans think.
Yep. Humans don't like their shit taken. Where is the resupply? Oh,
that's why so much sci-fi has aliens, and if it doesn't have aliens, it has some other antagonist or like rival to humanity. You'd be like, holy shit, humans, get your shit together. Even if it's other humans or robots that humans made. It's like, whoa, they're gonna do stuff that we don't like, so we gotta rally together and get them first.
It's true, though. I think I lost my supplies.
It's only true because that's human nature. So maybe if we fucking grow up as a species, that would change.
Oh no. Anklo's dead and I can't save him, guys. I'm sorry.
You can save him with science.
No. He died when reinforcements are no longer allowed. That it is what it is. It's risky out here in space, guys. Death will occur. Yeah, space will kill you. Well, this whole thing, physical and mental health risks to colonists, we've already talked about that in a previous thing. Risk of astronomical suffering. What does that mean? Catastrophic outcomes.
What's that coming from?
Wikipedia.
Astronomical effects?
It could cause human extinction.
That could be anything from radiation to time dilation.
It says astronomical... Oh my god, I'm dead too. Astronomical atrocity problem raises ethical concerns about whether positive outcomes can ever justify immense suffering. What are they thinking is out there?
Okay, this is way more about like philosophy and morality than
it's under space colonization on Wikipedia.
Yeah. So someone wrote an article about it doesn't mean it's topical.
Well, then put us on topic, sir, because I'm not knowledgeable about colonizing space. What I learned was in the movies.
Okay, we'll put down the Wikipedia and focus on not dying, and we'll talk about space.
Okay.
But that's like a theological question. Like, who
Should we start with colonizing near Earth space first? What if we had living...
Near Earth space would be orbit and the moon.
Exactly. So why don't we just start small, work our way up? Live on the edge of the atmosphere.
Like Skyhook hotels?
Yeah. Yeah, why aren't they doing that?
We're not technologically there.
Well, if we're not there, then what are we doing worrying about the rest of space?
That's like, Christopher Columbus going like, why don't we have rockets yet? Why aren't we living in space? Why don't we have airplanes? It's like, whoa, bud. We're trying to figure out how to build sailing ships. And then we'll get to your rockets and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Technology has to advance. Everything we're talking about will probably happen within the next 500 years. Within the next 50? I doubt it.
Okay. Yeah.
We might start to have, we've stepped foot on Mars and we've thought about or are planning or our missions are actually being not hypothesized, but we're actually planning and building this shit to build moon bases within 50 years.
Do you think we will?
There could be some crazy revolution, though. You never know.
That'd be kind of exciting. Not gonna lie, that'd be pretty exciting.
Liberty's enemies march
the computer and digital revolutions kind of took society by surprise.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and that's gone really quick. Look how fast we've done with the digital age. We've gone immensely quick. All of a sudden.
Turn of the millennium, 1990s, early 2000s, people were talking online.
Yeah, I remember.
But did we think there'd
be computers in our pockets?
Amazon?
Fuck Amazon, but sorry, not sponsor.
I'm just using it as an example because it's well known. You can go on a website and order whatever the fuck you want.
Hey, look, can you bring the cart?
And it'll be in your possession within 48 hours, almost no questions asked. I don't think we saw that happening so rapidly, even though we knew the World Wide Web and fucking chats and e-commerce was a thing.
I miss those days. Don't make me nostalgic. I miss all that.
I miss Web 1.0. I know.
I know. I'm so, give me ICQ
Back before the fucking algorithms.
Oh my gosh.
People being people.
And the convos we'd all have and having our GeoCities pages. And guys, you guys don't know how beautiful it was playing Winamp. I had a GeoCities page. You did too?
I still use Winamp.
Which place were you in? Which place were you in? Because I was in Boho, because, that makes sense. Boho or Soho. I was in, the Bohemian sector. You were probably in the Smarty Pants sector. Anklo flying a kite. Anklo, can you pick the heart so I can pick the sample? Please, Anklo. Hurry, Anklo. Please.
Yeah, back before you had companies and algorithms telling you what you wanted to watch, the internet was a lot of fun.
The heart, Anklo. Thank you, Anklo. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I miss all that, right? And we make our websites, and our websites would be geeked out, and it'd be great.
It was kind of like your diary. It was just an electronic diary.
I literally did have an electronic diary,
but yeah. This is the stuff that I think is cool. Hey, check out my website.
Yeah, it's great. And I bet you there were space pages. Okay, bringing it back to space.
Yep.
Whew. Okay, so I do have something if we want to connect, about this.
What?
To the lore, but now I'm kind of meh.
No, we can get into lore mode.
No, nobody's talking about the... I don't think people care about the lore now. I think they're all you know what? We'd rather hear Brad talk about space. Arch, you're still there. Arch, are you going to bring it back on topic? We were waiting for you. Come on back.
But the tie-ins to Helldivers...
Oh yeah, I have to tell you about Penrose. Yeah, I can tell you about that in a minute, but not until after this mission because I have to be able to use it.
Energy diaphragm or whatever the fuck it's
not
called.
Not the diaphragm. Oh my goodness, the siphon. Oh my goodness. Whatever. The diaphragm.
It's not a diaphragm. It's a siphon.
Yeah, it's a Penrose energy. Hey, look. Okay.
They both have pH in them.
Right. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever heard wine Brad before. I'm just saying. This is new for me, guys, so bear with me. I need you to go back on topic, Brad. Please. Please. I need you to...
Were we going to talk about Helldivers science fiction stuff or not?
I wanted to, but nobody cares about it. They're too entranced by your space knowledge.
What's the Penrose energy siphon? What is it doing?
Okay. I got that. I got that. Okay. Yeah, because I want your opinion on it. Hold on. Yeah. I got to load up my Discord. Just a second. Discord. Oh my goodness. Thanks for reminding me of that. Okay, so we're going to go to my Discord, and then we're going to go to the Helldiver section. Yep, going there. Then we're going to go to... Oh, yeah, okay. I got to read this to you. Okay, I'm going to read this to you, okay? They're going to totally kick me out of this session. I'm going to abandon. I'm so sorry, Anklo. No, but Anklo, I'll play with you in a second. Okay, this is it. I need you to hear this, because I need your space relation stuff about this. So this is a major order. I did not have
space relations with that woman.
Exactly, he did not. Okay, hold on. He literally did. So there you go. The major order: the sustained efforts of the Helldivers to impede the Meridian Singularity. Remember the Meridian black hole, right? Yes. Have borne fruit. Now it has become possible to bring deliverance to the planets that remain in its destructive path. The singularity loses energy and momentum as it moves. We talked about dark energy last week, guys, if you were here for that podcast. Eventually, assuming current illuminate dark energy accumulation rates remain constant, it will come to rest. Center of Science models have estimated its stopping point as somewhere past Super Earth. But with the activation of the Penrose energy siphon, the singularity can now be slowed enough to guarantee that it halts before it destroys Super Earth. In order to ensure the realization of this scenario, a sustained and intense suppression of illuminate dark energy accumulation is critical. The Helldivers are ordered to heavily suppress illuminate invasion events for the next several days. If successful, this will free Super Earth from the singularity's path of destruction, because it was destroying planets. It's destroyed 2 so far, Angel's Venture and Moridash. Nothing is more critical than the security of our democracy's heart. Yeah, right. To ensure the success of this mission, High Command has authorized the temporary deployment of a new stratagem that doesn't really matter, blah, 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 the Grenadier Battlement. If this order is successful, the stratagem will be made... Okay, nobody cares about that. What do you think?
Game bullshit.
Yeah. What do you think?
So the Penrose energy siphon used to slow down the singularity?
Yeah, hold on. I got more info on that one.
Or the singularity, we talked about how... like liquid gravity, I remember.
Yeah. Well, here's what the efforts of the Helldivers to impede the Meridian Singularity have made it possible to save the planets that remain in its destructive path. The Helldivers are ordered to suppress it. If successful, blah, 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 it will free it. But it doesn't really, it says...
There's a lot of blah, blah, and
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm just looking. Yeah, basically they're trying to say that...
I mean, it's a plot device, but it's still...
Yeah, the activation of the Penrose energy siphon, the singularity can now be slowed enough to guarantee that it halts before it destroys Super Earth. I don't know how. In order to ensure it, we must, do the intents, blah, blah, blah. It's not calling it a wormhole, though. It's calling it a wormhole now.
Yeah, we've seen them go back and forth on that.
Why?
I don't know why they're doing that, because that's like the game developers writing that shit.
Do you think they're silly?
Between we've talked about how it might be, hey, is it a black hole, is it a wormhole? Like, well, if they're kind of based on the same sort of premise, an advanced species could just, like the light switch analogy. Hey, it's a black hole that consumes matter, and then we alter it with technology and science and stuff, and suddenly it's not a black hole, it's a white hole or a wormhole.
Mm-hmm. What is a white hole?
A white hole is the other end of a black hole.
How do you people know that if they haven't been to the other end of a black hole.
Because it's an analogous concept. If you think of a black hole that's intense gravity with a singularity that draws things into it, where is it going? Maybe there's a parallel dimension or another part of the universe where there's a white hole that the black hole connects to. That's all this stuff that the black hole consumes is spewing out.
Do you think then we're gonna? I wonder if in the story they're gonna suddenly call it the Meridian White Hole. Oh my god, that's stupid. Anyway, okay. Well, I don't really care about that. That was enough of that. I know that the Terminids, the bugs, colonized by spore spearers that go just like Starship Troopers. We know the Illuminate ships travel. They have their ship technology. I don't really know how we've done it with Super Earth. Nobody's telling me in the chat, so I don't know. I think we did better talking about space colonization, honestly.
Okay.
Personally, I think you were on it. I don't think we had the psychological fortitude to really have people do this, honestly, but unless to go to other... I mean, look at the way Matt Damon was in Interstellar. I mean, that's kind of what I figured was going to happen.
That was an asshole.
Yeah, he was. Right? So I'm just saying, I'm just saying. But
I don't think I've ever hated him more than in Interstellar.
in that movie. And then he did Martian. That was quite... Martian, which is quite... Did he do that one afterward? I think so. Trying to redeem himself. He's like, I'm a good space guy.
I'm not a dick. I'm a potato farmer.
Exactly. Like, love me. I'm eating my own shit from potatoes. We saw you. Yeah, we saw what you did in Interstellar. We don't forget. Okay, so... I don't want us to miss something that you would really want to talk about with colonizing space in this first episode of it, because I would like it to be able to connect to the next episode, and I honestly didn't have notes, but I am very interested in what you had about it, what you feel passionate about it.
Random thoughts.
Random thoughts? Well, I'm curious about your random thoughts, Brad. I think we all are. We're all curious about your random thoughts. Like, would you... Okay. Would you go?
The next step? Oh, fucking absolutely. The next step after... Okay,
you were like, I'm so out of here.
We figured out... it's not so much that. It's more like be a part of that next step.
Yeah.
Even if, there's obviously dangers and stuff, but...
But life is dangerous. No risk, no reward is what... I think high risk... Low reward is what somebody said earlier. I was thinking somebody else.
Depending on your fictitious universe, BattleTech has no guts, no galaxy.
No guts, no galaxy? What's that?
That's a BattleTech or MechWarrior thing.
Oh my god. Nerding out, you guys.
I mean, DJ from Core Gaming Racer.
I thought you were going to be like DJ.
No balls, no birthday cake, which is kind of like, okay, I kind of get the analogy, but
no balls, no birthday cake. I don't understand that one. I'm sorry. I don't.
You don't have the balls. You're not going to get the birthday cake.
Then does that mean I can never have birthday cake? That doesn't seem fair.
I think it's an analogy. So.
Okay. Gotcha.
Maybe you can take a kind of cake. I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm like, wait, that doesn't seem quite fair. Oh my god.
Say humans develop orbital factories and skyhooks, so we can not rely on inefficient chemical rockets to get us into orbit. We build stuff up in space, and then we colonize the moon. And we colonize the Mars after that. We go to the asteroid belt and find some cool shit.
You mean the asteroid belt? They kind of want to move close to the moon? Huh. Obama doesn't sound so bad now. I'm just saying.
You're not going to move the asteroid belt. You're going to go there.
Okay.
That's like saying, "Oh, let's mine for oil by bringing the oil to our house." That's not. No. You go to where the mineral-rich areas are, and you do your mining there. So we would go to the asteroid field. Maybe we colonize Ceres next.
What's Ceres?
Ceres is a minor planet in the asteroid belt. It's the largest body therein, and takes a significant portion of its mass.
Oh. See?
I think it's bigger than Pluto. But anyway, say we
Pluto!
have...
Is it a planet? Pluto! I need to know!
Stop arguing about lame-ass societal disruptions.
Okay. God, I really loved it as a planet. I'm just saying. Were you hurt when it was not made a planet anymore? I need to know. Did it hurt you?
It's not so much it wasn't made a planet.
It
Some
was
people
just-
arbitrarily change their mind on, whether we classify it as planet or not, because an orbital barycenter and all this shit. Shut the fuck up.
I just need to know your feelings on that. I'm sorry.
Pluto's a
I
fucking
need-
planet.
Oh, he said it! He said it, guys! You heard it on this episode. Brad said Pluto is a planet.
To say Pluto and Charon and Nix are like a multi-minor planetary relationship. Like, fuck off. Pluto's a planet. It has a moon that's pretty fucking big compared to its size, and there are orbital dynamics that might interfere or conflict with our traditional definition of a planet.
Mm-hmm.
But don't fuck with Tomba.
There you go. What is that? What's Tomba?
You help
Shit.
discover it.
Well, yeah. Could you imagine, like, you're known for that, and then you're like relatives, and then like your past, and then oh my god, and they change the.
I mean,
They
it
take
does
it
happen
away.
where someone discovers something, and then further science proves that actually they discovered something different.
They fucked up and they were wrong.
Well, it was limited by their capacity at the time. There was a time where the people looked up in the night sky and like, wow, look at that bright star. It's like, actually, that's not a star, it's another galaxy. What are you going to be like, actually, everyone in history? Like, fucking calm down.
Right.
But Pluto, the whole planet thing, is just like, well, okay, so
I remember that happening. I'm just saying.
if we're gonna call Pluto a planet, do we automatically have to call all the other bodies that we know exist in the solar system of an equivalent size of planet? No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. Because they're all over the fucking place, they're different parts, they have weird orbits, they're way too fucking far away.
Mm-hmm.
So in the classical sense, Pluto's a planet. But there's other bodies which are the size of Pluto, larger than Pluto, but they exist in different parts of the solar system, like the Kuiper Belt or the asteroid field, where you would not traditionally think of them as planets. So that doesn't necessarily mean we have to call them that.
Right.
Ceres is a minor body in the asteroid belt.
It sounded like you said Ceres is a minor body.
Eris is a minor body in the Kuiper Belt that has a very eccentric orbit.
Mm-hmm.
Sedna is a minor body in the Kuiper Belt that has an eccentric orbit. Make it a planet?
Hmm?
Maybe a definition of a planet will eventually become, it's a spherical planetary body that orbits its parent star in a mostly circular pattern.
Mm-hmm.
You have a weird, squished oval like Halley's Comet or something like that. I don't care how big you are.
Remember Halley's Comet? Oh my gosh, remember that? That was a big deal. You're saying. That was sort of kind of a big deal. Remember that? Oh god. Anyway, I don't mean to be going off topic. I just wanted to know some sort of wrap-up thoughts you might have about this topic.
Orbital factories and skyhooks, next step.
Orbital factories.
Cities on the moon.
Who's going to
next
work
step,
in the
cities on
factories?
Mars. Doesn't
Do we
matter.
get equitable wages? Are we being paid equitably?
I don't want to talk about
Okay, gotcha.
societal, economic
Okay. Got
squalor
it.
and strife.
Would you do it for
it's-
free? Would you do it for free?
Would you do what for free?
Go work on the whatchamacallit. Go work on the thingy, as a planet thingy.
I mean, it wouldn't be free because if they're paying for me to live and work there, like, hey, you have to feed me, otherwise I can't work. Hey, I have to live there, otherwise I can't get to
That's
work.
true. That's true.
So it's kind of like, hey, if your employer is willing to pay for your food and housing,
Yeah.
that's a significant portion of where your wage ends up going. So
But then you have no
realistically,
wages for wine.
maybe you get extra credit for working hard.
You earn credits for wine. Got it. Okay. See? Okay.
Like some sort of cyber communist credit system.
That'd be
It's
great.
you
sorry, that-
perform the standard quota of work, so you don't have, so you get to stay on the colony. But because you worked extra hard on Friday, here's some tokens that you can
Cigars.
spend on.
Tokens
you can spend
for
on cigars, Go to the strip club, get some wine, or
So-
download the new DLC for Helldivers 15. Who the fuck knows?
Oh my god! Don't get me all excited about that. Helldivers in space? Wouldn't that be meta? Helldivers in space.
Helldivers 15 is actually going to be like The Sims, where you're colonizing Earth. And you just go work in the kitchen.
Wouldn't that be funny? We could colonize Earth and that.
The
That'd be
circle
great.
is now complete.
There you go. So I found things, but I have to go. I have to leave
go
this
now.
planet.
My
My
planet
planet needs me exactly. It's going to be the end of the broadcast. No, but
She gets pulled out of frame.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, after
thanks.
Mars would be asteroid belt.
Okay. Why an asteroid belt? I want to know why.
Okay, that's
How
too.
could that be livable? How could that even be an idea? Why does that make sense?
Okay, that was way too many questions that need
Yes.
clarification before you went on to the next question.
Yes.
Why the asteroid belt for colonization purposes?
Yeah.
There's an extraordinarily huge amount of mineral wealth out there.
Then why haven't we done that? Then why was that?
Because we can't even figure out how to go back to the moon yet. The asteroid belt is way too far away compared to...
Got it. Yep. But that would be next. Okay, continue on.
We're like, should we cross the street? And why aren't we in another town yet? It's like, let's figure out how to cross the street, and then we'll get to the next town. That's where it's too far away. But there's plenty of stuff there worth going there to get. We just have to figure out how to, A, go there, B, live long enough while we're on the way,
I'm
C,
still going to be
do
left.
stuff once we get there, D, turn it into stuff we actually want that would like make the whole thing worthwhile, and E, get it back. And maybe F, make money. Or at least be profitable as like a societal venture.
Probably
Or
not
just kill
going to be
people as a one-way
society.
trip.
We'll kill people as a one-way trip. That's kind of what we do.
Yeah, but like that's like sending people to go to work and they all die before they get to work. Like your employer would not do that because it would be kind of inefficient.
Well, does it?
No work would get done.
That's true.
You're
That's true.
focusing too much on like corporate bad.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I should be focusing on the good of the
No, just stay like neutral in that aspect.
neutral. Okay,
It's
gotcha.
totally going to happen, but it's like it won't make any sense if companies send people to work and they just die. They'd have to get work done and then send like the profits
use
back,
them
and
to
then
their
they would
bodies.
die. That
Yeah,
would, that
and
would
that's
at
probably
least-
what
that
they'll
would be
do.
sort of- that would be hella dystopian, but it would
But
make more
that's
sense.
probably
if
what
they
they'll
just
do.
leave
Yeah.
humans.
That makes sense.
So in that case, you would send robots.
They won't though. They'll send humans.
No, well, because then you don't have to worry about, hey, my husband went to die and you died in your mind. Rabble. Okay, we're tired of dealing with the public fallout, so we're just going to send robots, and then people can't bitch when they break. That's what will happen.
Got it.
Because historically, like coal mining, for example, coal mining was realistically the only way for us to get energy as a society, and we fucking totally did it. Didn't even if we could consider the environmental impact, we were like, we don't know how else to get energy, so fucking shut up about the environment. We want coal plants for electricity and whatnot. And a bunch of disasters happened where hundreds of people died. In the tunnel collapsed, coal dust exploded, etc. Shit happened.
That's
people
going to
died.
happen on Mars. With space colonization, that is part of what I get of
People
why they
still-
say that's a risk.
People still die by the thousands in
Oh, yeah,
industrial
yeah.
accidents.
I know, and nobody
cars
cares,
every
but-
fucking month.
But
It's
that
not
will
everybody
happen in
cares. It's not that
space.
nobody cares. But you're talking about that will happen like, the people.
No, but I'm just saying that will definitely. I see why that's a risk they state because horrible things are going to happen while we learn how to be in
You want to make
space.
an omelet, you got to break a couple eggs. And unfortunately, it will.
That's very, very true. That's very true.
So the human thing to do would be to kind of like own up to that and realize that there are risks and try to mitigate them, make it
Facts.
safer, or kind of less involve humans in it and send.
But humans
machines.
always got to be involved. You know that. So
Okay, so I'm not talking about, like, for example, mining. If you could get a remote operated vehicle to mine for you, you wouldn't send people to do it.
no.
Deep sea exploration. We can't build submarines that would survive that far down, so we send remotely operated vehicles to do it. Sure, you want to build a torpedo that has a person in it with a camera and fire them down there and take 2 pictures and then the fucking thing gets crushed and they die. It's not tenable. Even if you could physically do it and you don't care about the human life, it wouldn't make sense to keep doing that. So yeah, we build machines that can survive.
Extraction complete.
All right.
So take the... Try to focus less on that.
You have maintained.
People will get hurt. It's a part of exploration.
That's true.
People are more often than not willing to take the risk in order to do something thrilling and new.
That's true.
Whether
That's
it's scientific exploration or fucking hang gliding or base jumping or fucking whatever. Stuff like getting run over crossing the street, that's stuff we should kind of just be smarter and mitigate.
Right.
Which is down to, like, hey, maybe you don't speed in the school zone, or hey, maybe you look both ways before crossing the fucking street. So it's a mix between social conditioning and education.
So NASA says that the subject of space colonization has rapidly moved several steps closer to becoming a reality thanks to major advances in rocket propulsion and design.
Yes.
But not close enough yet.
No, but we've seen in our more recent years how it went from you have to be a government agency to even consider it to, nah, fuck it, anyone with a lot of money is just doing it now. Even the SpaceX rockets, like, landing again is, like, fucking still mind-blowing.
Right? Right?
Like, watching the footage of that happen is like, holy fuck. What kind of crazy future do we live in where rockets are just being captured by gantries? Whereas even 2 decades ago, it used to be, oh, you launch a rocket? Okay, that's a one-use item. See ya. Forget single-use plastics. We had single-use fucking multi-story rockets flying around. That was just a thing.
We are really focused on
Entrepreneurs
Mars.
in science kind of went, you know what? We can do better than that. There's no way we're going to advance if we keep throwing that much shit away.
Hopefully we stop throwing shit away. Like, hopefully we stop getting scared as well. I've noticed this as well. Like, I know the Challenger thing was devastating and horrific, but if we let things like that stop us when eventually, like, if we had proceeded forward, I just imagining where we would have been now is kind of...
So the tragedy about Challenger, it was not really... like, it wasn't unpreventable. If anything, they were warned that it would happen because of the dynamics of the launch itself. Hey guys, you kind of parked a rocket outside when it was fucking January, and we're worried about these specific parts that keep fuel from mixing together with other components from cracking because it's so goddamn cold. Rabble, we got a lot of... It was basically politics. Doomed Challenger.
Allied destroyer has joined squadron.
And I feel like economics doomed Columbia.
Oh, Columbia. Is that the one I'm thinking about?
Columbia is the one that disintegrated on re-entry because some tiles fell off and all was...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like, it was taking off, parts fell off, like ice fell off of the boosters, which are kept at cryogenic temperatures, so they have to be cold. But it's designed in such a way that they are a threat to the rest of the shuttle, which it actually hit, knocked some tiles off, and then when the space shuttle came back into the atmosphere, those damaged tiles ended up...
Oh. Well, there you go.
Compromising the craft.
Sorry to have gone off topic again. That was my fault. That's
about space exploration, though. We have to consider the...
Here's some
threats and risks and human costs.
Exactly.
But yeah, Challenger was like, oh, let's launch when it's cold. You're fucking stupid. That was totally fucking stupid to do. Why the fuck did you do that? Political pressure? Go fuck yourself.
I've joined Itchy Joystick. He's the one who got me playing the game. But okay, the problems in colonizing distance from Earth, extreme cold powers like solar power would be less concentrated. Effects of low gravity and dust. We've already been over that. I mean...
But maybe they weren't here when we were talking about it. So dust alone is a significant issue.
What is
Dust
it
on
about dust?
Okay, so depending on like its environment, like dust, say covering solar panels, okay, you're not getting power to supply power to your colony or your people. That's no good. Can't charge my phone. Shit. Or dust in electronics. Either, hey, I'm trying to switch the switch to ignite the landing boosters, and it's full of dust, and I can't flick the switch, and we smash into the planet at 700 miles an hour. That's not good. Or dust causes static electricity just because of the nature of dust and things like that. Or you're talking space dust, where there's tiny particulates out in space, that because space is big and there's no friction, it's going 25,000 miles an hour and hits your spaceship, and suddenly it's getting shot with a 50 cal sniper rifle, blows a big hole in your ship. That's also not good. So trying to deal with all of those issues in turn is part of the solution.
Well, there you go.
How do you deal with like dust or sand or things covering solar panels on, you know, Mars, for example? On the moon, there's no wind, so that'd be kind of okay. But Mars, that's just an issue. Okay, so maybe you don't use solar panels, or use solar panels in the upper atmosphere outside of like where the weather happens. So it's like a skyhook. Maybe there'll be skyhooks on Mars.
These skyhooks things are a really cool idea. Just saying.
It's cool.
I'd
like to thank Star Wars Shadows of the Empire for introducing me to skyhooks.
If it becomes a thing, I'm just wondering though, like with these things, these ideas of putting these things, you just know that there's gonna be a like negative use. But I know we're not supposed to focus on the negativity. I'm just like, it's hard to think about. But colonists, okay, so do you agree with the idea that if we have, we didn't even talk about generational ships. Is that next episode? Generational ships? Yeah, next episode.
We can talk about that.
Because I want to talk about families in space. What types of people should be in space? Is it going to be a thing where we send criminals into space, or workers into space, or families?
People should be in space. Everyone can be in space.
Exactly, but who do you think they're going to put in space?
That depends on how early it is. We talk about that too. If it's a company sending miners to go to the asteroid belt, it's going to be employees going into space.
So do you think they'll send them as families, like in Aliens, or do you think they're going to be exploited workers, or do you think it's going to be like astronauts, or are they going to be couples?
Think about how people go to work on Earth and just put that into the future. It's going to be the same as that.
But when you want your family with you? Oh yeah.
What we would like to happen is not really what we're talking about. We're talking about what's kind of physically and scientifically possible in the future. The moral system company totally fucking us over is constantly a possibility, because we've seen it happen before, and it's pretty prevalent.
Yes. Oh shit, I got killed.
So maybe by the time we're colonizing the asteroid belt, it's some AI running the government, and it's like, you know what, this is statistically the best.
Wait, can you imagine AI? Oh no, that'd be horrible in some ways.
So
a lot of us would be done with.
Like we feel like, it should be criminals mining the asteroid belt, or it's like, do you bring your family with you? It's like some algorithm decides what we do.
Boy, did we go off different. I mean, okay, how do you think AI would affect space colonization?
It would make it more efficient.
But postulate. I know this is beyond what we're talking about. Postulate what you imagine AI would think about us, about Earth. Do you think they would decide to improve Earth or to go beyond Earth? An AI intelligence. Maybe I should ask ChatGPT. Oh my god! And we come back around.
I'm talking about an actual AI, not some bullshit.
So, do you think an AI would have our best interests in mind? It would depend on what it was programmed. Like, do you think an AI would have our best interests in mind, a planet in mind, or its own expansion into the universe and its curiosity about vast galaxies? It would go beyond us.
Calm down.
Okay, I can't calm down.
True AI would not be programmed. That's the whole counterpoint.
And it wouldn't care about us. It wouldn't
It's
care about
artificial
us.
intelligence. It doesn't
Exactly.
need to be programmed by people that have their own biases and thoughts.
So it wouldn't
create
care
its
about
own
us.
thoughts.
And it would want to expand and be curious about beyond the world, right? So we'd be doomed.
No.
Unless it found us useful. Unless AI found us useful, why would it keep us around?
Because it needs us to do things for it?
Why? I guess
Some
it would.
AI in a box inside like a mainframe somewhere
Would
can't-
need us, you're right. So then we would be slaves to AI. Oh my god. Terminator.
No, okay, stop doing that.
Okay, I'll stop doing that.
You're taking like a fraction of my sentence and being like, that's
Right.
totally this other thing.
No. But I'm curious if it would even be interested
So
in.
part of it is, okay, maybe take inspiration from Aliens and Terminator, but kind of leave a lot of it kind of
Don't be so negative about it.
kind
Don't
of push it
expect
off,
the worst.
just kind of push it off your plate and don't let it influence the rest of your decision-making process or your ideas.
That's actually quite a good idea. Okay, so
Like, yes, AI could totally be like, hey, AI,
hey
we're
AI,
too busy,
hey AI.
we're too busy, you know, on fucking the gram and on Facebook to figure shit out. So how about you develop like a fusion rocket for us? How can we develop a fusion rocket?
Mhm.
It wouldn't be distracted by stupid shit,
Mhm.
and could actually like expedite some processes like that.
Mhm. Yeah, it wouldn't be
And I
ruled
don't-
by
and I-
emotions,
And I don't feel like it would have some inherent bias to be like, well, fuck you, humans.
right?
I read the history books. You're just a bunch of assholes. Fuck you. I don't,
Why wouldn't
you
it
know,
though decide that based on us being assholes?
Why
I'm not-
would it?
Because we were assholes.
It's a complete, yeah. So, but it's a completely benign, separate entity. It
We
doesn't
totally
have
went off topic.
our
My
own
fault.
biases.
I just can't be on topic because whenever I think about space colonization, I think of, generational travel. I do think about aliens. I can't help it. But I also think about the fact that, like, to even get there, we're going to have to depend on fucking billionaires who are assholes. And that kind of
Within
pisses
the
me
next
off.
50 years. Within the next 50
Oh no,
years.
oh
So think-
no.
Throwing supply beacon.
I have to do one thing. Itchy, you're just a torso. I'm sorry. Okay.
To development.
I know that.
Oh, okay.
So there's no reason to think that it's going to happen for the next 10,000 years.
How about
Requesting fortification.
how about okay, so are we okay, if you think that okay, here's my question. Do you think based on
Yes.
yeah, okay, got it. With the way we're going right now, that we could even have ourselves colonizing Mars within 50 years like Elon Musk says. I mean, is this going to be a thing? Do you think that they're really going to have people living?
I think a lot of the statements people like that make are naively optimistic.
But they have put their shuttles into space. I mean, it's not like they're
Putting
totally
something in
close to it.
space is not anywhere close to having things walking around or living on Mars.
True.
That's like saying, I know how to type a resume, so I'm going to have my own company within the next 10 years. Doesn't mean
Right.
shit.
Right?
It's a
Well,
fucking pipe dream. It's a hope. It's-
Well, we
it's-
need
it's
to
a potential.
we need to
It's a
bring this back
potential.
to Happy Wine Brad and have him end with some hopeful things and thoughts, closing thoughts about colonizing space. Because
We
I
can
would
touch
like
on generation ships then.
we really
'Cause that
can
kind of
before we
brings us
go.
back to the next
Because I would,
episodes.
as our closing, I would love that. Because, oh my gosh, you're making me think though of Passengers, which, fuck that guy, even though it ended nice because love story. What an exploitive jerkface. Did you ever watch Passengers?
No, I don't know what you're talking
They were
about.
on a generational ship and this guy saw this girl and he woke her up because he accidentally woke up early and he didn't want to be alone.
I feel like the generation ship is just a setting for like some shitty other story.
I'm just saying.
That story might have been able to happen in fucking Manhattan.
No.
One of those areas or
no,
anywhere
it's
else.
horrible. It's horrible what he did, but
I'm just some person being an asshole to another person. Okay. It's
no,
welcome to-
no.
Like
He
it?
wanted her for family. Anyway, the whole thing is, Itchy is not... okay, fine. He's a disembodied person. I just want to know what your closing thoughts are about generational ships, because, okay, how would they be possible? Technology we don't have. Would we do it? Probably. Probably. That's being out in space forever, right? Knowing they're probably not going to come back.
Not forever.
But a long time, generations.
It's forever for some people because they're going to die on the ship that they want.
Exactly.
Or they die on the ship that they're born on. That's the whole idea of a generation ship.
Exactly. So what do you think of those?
Say after we...
That's how we get further away.
Colonize the moon. So we're not at hyperspace and warp speed or anything like that yet. We're trying to figure out how to colonize the galaxy, or we actually have the technology and people willing to volunteer or be voluntold.
Voluntold.
You 10,000 people are going to colonize Tau Ceti.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, within our local bubble. I can't remember exactly, but it's like, within 10 light years or something like that.
Mm-hmm. As if I knew, but I'm like, of course.
So a generation ship would probably have engines that would accelerate it to like a fraction of the speed of light eventually, like ion engines and nuclear propulsion. Mm-hmm. So say maybe in 100 or 200 years we might be able to build something like that.
And generation ships, for those who don't know, they're useful for the fact that if we did have the technology and we did go far, they're so that we could travel further beyond and have people already on the ship for going beyond.
They're called generation ships because entire generations of people live and die on the ship.
Yeah, because you to get so far. Yeah, because it would take much too long. That's with a different idea as opposed to, let's say, cryogenic, or it includes,
it's an
some sort of
sleep suspension.
Yeah, or it coincides with it. Yeah, it incorporates both in passengers. Yeah, and it's a trope used.
Crew. You should have you could have a generational crew of say a dozen.
With a shuttle that's with the main crew that's awake, yeah.
Well, you're on a ship that's 5 kilometers long. They build some crazy giant thing in space after they build orbital factors and whatnot, because there's no way that thing would be able to launch from the planet with current technology, or even technology that we can foresee within the next couple of decades.
That's so fucked up. Sorry, I just hugged the torso.
Say you have like a ship the size of Manhattan that has tens of thousands of people in cryogenic suspension on it, and there's a crew of 200 that has to maintain the ship and keep it running and keep the cryogenics functioning, so that when it gets to Tau Ceti or Alpha Centauri or some other nearby star that's going to, so that when they get there, their descendants will be able to like wake everyone up and be like, "Hey guys, we're here.
I have frozen.
Time to build.
I don't know what happened.
Colonies and cities." But this generational ship would likely have engines that would accelerate it, maybe 10% the speed of light, because it's taking hundreds of years to get anywhere. So you think of an engine that's very slowly accelerating, but over 50 years, it would get pretty fast. If it keeps accelerating at the same rate over years and years and years and years and years and years, it would end up going pretty fast. And at the halfway point, you just have to start slowing down because you do have to stop at your destination. Another idea is that you don't stop or slow down. You just jettison part of the crew and be like, "Hey, here's where you're going to live," and you keep fucking going.
Yeah.
And then it keeps, well, not forever, because you have limited crew and fuel and resources, but it goes to some other next star in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
But because it doesn't slow down, it's going faster and faster and gets there kind of relatively quicker. So that's an idea. In 100 years, they might be like, "Hey, these kind of how we send probes that gravity assist off of other planets to get farther out in the solar system. Oh, it's slingshots around Earth and slingshots around Mercury and whatever to get to Jupiter. Maybe it's slingshots around Tau Ceti, Alpha Centauri, and Sirius to get to another star, and it drops off these 3 or 4, basically colony dropships full of 1,000 people and tens of thousands of robots and construction materials to build a colony, and suddenly we have colonies on 4 or 5 planets.
That'd be exciting. Not to doubt it. I
It's
think it'd be
something that
exciting.
could happen. Think of a sailing fleet of 10 vessels, but there's enough people on those 10 vessels that's like, okay, we're going to land in, we're leaving from Spain, and we're going to land in Newfoundland, we're going to land in New Hampshire, we're going to land in West Virginia. Sorry, West Virginia doesn't have a coastline. Anyway, East Virginia, that other one.
Did you know?
Several places, and they set up colonies like that. They don't have to keep coming back to home to refuel or get more people. They just go out there and
Did you know?
drop people off, basically.
Did you know, from the Wikipedia page, when the first spaceflight programs commenced, they partly used and have continued to use colonial spaces on Earth, such as places of indigenous peoples at the RAAF Woomera Range Complex, Guyana Space Center, or contemporarily for astronomy at the Mauna Kea Telescope. I don't know these words. When orbital space flight was achieved in the 1950s, colonialism was still a strong international project, example, easing the United States to advance its space program and space in general as part of a new frontier. Oh, remember Gene Roddenberry with the New Frontier? Anyway.
I mean, yeah.
So
things are, one of the things you mentioned was a telescope in Hawaii.
Yeah. The Manwalk, yeah.
Hawaii kind of just got stolen. The United States just kind of showed up and be like, hey, you're part of the fucking United States now, fuck you. By the way.
They tend to do that, yeah.
Look up the Spanish-American War for more info on global dominance in the end of the 19th century. Anyway, like I said, colonialism was still a thing. It's kind of an unfortunate part of the human experience. We want to spread and settle.
Yeah.
Which means we will make colonies, which is the
Well, we'll do in space
root word for
next.
colonial. It's the root word for colonialism is colonies.
Exactly. At the same
We will go and
time,
make colonies. It doesn't mean completely subjugating and genociding indigenous populations. It just means we might make colonies on the moon and Mars and further out.
but here's where I think it gets interesting with their continuing paragraph. At the same time, at the beginning of the space age, remember there was a space age? Decolonization gained again in force. Yeah, we're in a new space age again. Producing many newly independent countries, right? So these ones confronted spacefaring countries demanding an anti-colonial stance and regulation of space activity when space law was raised and negotiated internationally. Fears of confrontations because of land grabs and an arms race in space between the few. Oh, remember we have, what's that called? The space shield? What's that space
talking
shield?
about 6 different things at once.
What is that space shield? I'm still on the space page,
Okay,
space
so,
colonization space.
Yeah, but you're talking about many different, it's a multifaceted
It's part of
topic.
the history.
Yeah, I know. So
Well, this is about
pick
the
one.
Outer Space Treaty.
yeah, the
Okay.
Outer Space Treaty is don't shoot nukes into space, and you can't nuke the moon just because you want to shoot nukes at stuff. Calm down,
Right,
Americans.
right.
That's what that is. The whole anti-colonial sentiment is because we saw decades of people being fucking assholes and killing each other just because they're like, hey, we showed up, we liked your stuff, and we didn't think you were worth it, so we killed you. That's not cool. Don't do that. So that's anti-colonial sentiment.
Exactly. So in 1977, the first sustained space habitat, the Salyut 6 station, Salyut, was put into Earth's orbit. And eventually the first space stations were succeeded by the ISS, today's largest human outpost in
You just
space,
skip over Mir, which was there first.
and closest to a space settlement. Built and operated under a multilateral regime, and has become a blueprint for future stations, such as around and possibly on the moon. And then there's a moon treaty, if anybody didn't know. And then there's a multilaterally, as
Nobody
with the
owns the moon.
Artemis. What's the Artemis Accords? There's a thing called the Artemis Accords. Did you know about that?
I don't remember.
It's a series of non-binding. agreements
Oh, non-binding.
about
Oh, good. So
Artemis
no one gives a
space.
shit.
The accords are related to the Artemis program, an American-led effort to return humans to what? I don't know.
Moon.
Okay. The only
Artemis is one of the names for the next like Apollo thing. Like Apollo was, hey, it's the 1960s and we're going to go to the moon because JFK said it was a good idea, and they did.
Yeah.
Artemis is
And then
the
they
new.
killed him. China is leading an
They were going
effort
back.
to develop a lunar base called the International Lunar Research Station beginning in the 2030s.
Yep.
So that's where we are with that. I just wanted to return to the colonization part.
But I like how the
and a bit of
2030s
history.
is like, oh, it's far enough away that we don't sort of
It's
be like,
coming
hey,
up
when the fuck
quick.
is it happening?
It's coming quick, honestly.
Yeah.
It's coming quick. I mean,
Books in the 1970s said we would be living on the fucking moon in the near future.
I agree.
So that same old, it's just a political jerk off. Be like, yeah, we're totally gonna do that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, there might be some other bullshit that happens. They're like, oh yeah, right, that's not worth it. It's not a good idea. We don't have the manpower. We couldn't figure out the technology. Rabble. We didn't do it.
Okay.
More bullshit excuses.
No, got it. Okay, so yeah. The Artemis moon bases.
Let us
Chinese
know
lunar
when you
exploration.
actually figured it out and you're building shit to do it.
What is this? Another near-Earth possibility are the stable Earth-Moon Lagrange points, L4 and L5, at which
We talked about Lagrange points before.
a space colony can float indefinitely. The L5 Society was
We
trying
talked
to
about
promote
Lagrange
this.
points already.
Oh, which episode?
The last one. Lagrange points are gravitational stable areas
Okay.
near orbiting bodies.
Okay, got
So
that.
every planet has one. Every moon has one.
Well, there you go. Yeah, they do talk about Mars and Venus and Mercury and whatever, but they really don't feel that they're really moons of outer planets. But again, there seems to be a lot of concerns about it. Jovian moons, don't even know, but
Jovian moons are the moons of Jupiter.
But there you go. That's all I got to say about it, because then we'd be getting into intergalactic travel.
The Lagrange points make sense for maybe communications installations, fuel depots,
Solar
maybe
energy.
interplanetary cargo stations. Where hey, we're sending material that we mine from the asteroid belt towards the colonies on Mars and the Moon and Earth. So we'll first send them to the Lagrange points, so if they kind of misfire, they don't smash into a city on Earth or something. They don't totally destroy shit. And because it's gravitationally neutral, it doesn't take a huge amount of energy to send them out of there.
Well, they have a whole list of people involved in space colonization, guys. Several private companies have announced plans towards the colonization of Mars. Why are they just focused on Mars? Of course, there's Elon Musk, Dennis Tito, Bas Landstrop, but other organizations would be National Space Society, the Space Frontier Foundation, the Mars Society, the Space Settlement Institute, SpaceX, of course, Space Studies Institute with O'Neill Cylinders. What's that? The Alliance to Rescue Civilization. Oh, well, there you go. Alliance to Rescue Civilization. That sounds hippie. The Artemis Project, which you mentioned, it plans to set up a private lunar surface station. The British Interplanetary Society.
Fuck you, private installation.
Project Daedalus. That's a terraforming and locating other habitable worlds.
Project Daedalus used to be something totally different.
Okay, see Project Daedalus. Okay. Oh,
Project Daedalus is a nuclear-powered spaceship.
Okay, gotcha.
Where they literally dropped nuclear bombs behind it to push it along.
I'm sure that worked out well. Well,
we didn't build it because the thing would have been absolutely fucking enormous.
And then,
but that was before the whole nuclear space treaty, where we're like, hey, let's not nuke space.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Good idea.
But it was a hypothetical idea.
Oh yeah, Asgardia wants to circumvent limitations placed by Outer Space Treaty. And
Yeah,
the
fuck you. That
Cypress,
sounds like some fanfic.
yeah,
Asgardia? Okay,
yeah,
Asgard.
the Cypress Space Exploration Organization is promoting it. So there is terrestrial analogs to space settlement. I guess people want to like have biospheres that duplicate Earth in that, but that's also separate.
What?
Yeah,
Of course they
biosphere.
do.
Yeah, yeah. They
Well,
want,
that's so they can live there.
yeah, well, which is what Elon Musk had suggested in an article about there, which
That's like
there's a
literally
billionaire space race.
anyone that wants to go and live on another planet will probably want an environment that they can survive in. That's not like a Musk thing.
Oh yeah, like there's several, like Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, Elon Musk, and Paul Allen. Prior to his death, he had a division of his firm Vulcan, financing programs such as Scaled Composites Tier 1. He sought to reduce the cost of launching payloads into orbit. You've talked about payloads in orbit. And that. Well, a lot of this, it looks like the billionaires are doing it. Do you want to know the milestones, or no? Are you done with it? How far are we already? No, you're good? You're good? Okay. Because I guess they have a heavy lift reusable launcher out there.
Like we talked about that before too. Billionaires are doing it because they have the actual fucking money to do this.
Yeah, it's too bad that we didn't do it.
There's plenty of people that have really good ideas. They don't have the money to do that kind of shit.
It is too bad.
Hey, you own a multinational, multi-billion-dollar company, you can probably do fucking weird shit like build rockets and stuff.
Yeah. It is too bad that it wasn't. I guess I am sad that we aren't doing it as a like world effort. I know we have real concerns in the world that are here on Earth.
Grow up as a species.
We're not there yet. Maybe that's what the end note is. We're not there yet. We're not anywhere near space colonizing space, because except for whatever the billionaires are doing, because we're not even doing whatever we should here on Earth. I don't know. But if you have final thoughts, that'd be great. I want to hear your final thoughts. I'll even shut up.
Politics is divisive. Science is not.
How can you divide the two when money is always involved?
Hey, stop.
No, I'm just saying, for like the space thing, it's clearly money leading the way. So how are we supposed to think about this without...
Money doesn't lead the way. Money allows us to do that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just build a rocket for free.
No, you can't.
So yeah, you need money.
Okay. Well, it's a shame that, maybe
but the way you talk about it is like some attack on business. It's like, yeah, they could be shit, but like we're not there yet.
We'd probably just, yeah. Okay, well, thank you for the earlier chat about it. I appreciate your thoughts on it. People enjoyed it. I don't know how to close out on space, on colonizing space, honestly. I really don't, because I just wish we were able to do both right now, and we're not there yet. We're just not there yet. To take care of Earth and to be able to explore and or have habitats beyond Earth would be wonderful. Just because it'd be exciting, be a lot of, but there are questions whether we even belong.
It's more like, why the fuck would you burn down your house if you're still living in it?
Exactly.
That's literally what we're doing. So
exactly. So I do question whether we would do any better out there, but it's hard not to wonder and to look up there and imagine what is possible. And it's good that people are
trying to focus on what's possible and not what people are doing.
Yeah, don't look at what's happening. Just think about what could happen. Just kidding. No, I appreciate that. So, okay. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Brad, do you have anything to say? People enjoyed you. Do you have anything to say before we go?
Thanks for watching the stream, everybody.
What's next week? If we're doing this next week, so we can pin it down so people
have the next thing where it's this, but like let's go fantastical.
Can we go?
Like, okay, we talked about generation ships and colonizing the rest of the solar system and that kind of stuff. But how are we gonna what kind of technologies can take us to the center of the galaxy, or maybe beyond that? How are
So
we going
we
to colonize
can
the rest of the galaxy?
So next week, are you telling me we get to finally use our imagination?
Warp drive, hyperspace. I mean, you could use your imagination at all times.
Thanks for that. Thanks for permission on that one.
Well,
No.
it's not permission. It's like you needed to ask. You didn't have to ask. You just, like,
Just do it all the. But no, can we really like next week we get to get our fantasies out about space colonization and what we do and how we go and all
it's
that
going to be the
stuff.
same thing, but at a bigger scale.
Like as in, I would love to like throw out a bunch of different could I throw out some different sci-fi trope, film trope things that have happened and ask you yay or nay on some of them?
Well, not yay or nay, but we could dissect them and be like, okay, that would
work
either
or not
require
good.
this. Because a lot of them are.
That would work.
This is some cool science fiction movie, but it's like it's almost like you can place them chronologically in which how would human society advance?
Okay.
Like, where's Battlestar Galactica compared to Wing Commander or Babylon 5?
Exactly. See, that's going to be a fun episode. Oh, wait, Red Dog, I didn't even see you. Hi, Red Dog. So what's this moon thing you called
kind
tonight?
of further in the future than others, based on, like, what's happening.
I missed your comment. We didn't build it because it was a flawed concept, said Red Dog. I don't even know what you're... Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about, Red Dog. You must be behind.
Maybe Project Daedalus.
Oh, Project Daedalus. Yeah, maybe that's what he's talking about.
I feel like that was one of the more recent real things we could have built.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about it and they were like, well, this is not.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's not.
We didn't know how to build it, but we did think about it.
Yeah, we thought about it real hard. I didn't know anything about it, guys. I'm going to be clear.
It was a cool looking
ship.
The
one with the nukes, said Red Dog. Yeah, he knew it. Good to see you, Red Dog. Where were you earlier? We had some dead space there, and I was struggling, man. He's like, idiotic. He said, idiotic. to the nukes, yeah.
I mean, not really, because it's a good way to get rid of thousands of nuclear weapons that we otherwise would just have stockpiled on Earth doing fucking nothing. Or potentially nuking each other, which is worse. And it could be shooting us into space. Where there's plenty of fucking lethal radiation anyway, so it's not like the nukes would like be residually damaging. And the whole design of the ship was so that the nukes don't fucking kill us. Which would be kind of productive. So it's kind of like that's...
There's pros and cons.
Hey, if you have an interplanetary society with thousands of nuclear weapons, maybe Project Daedalus is the best idea to have. Who knows?
Who knows? It was
it's
still
down to material
stupid,
science
though.
to make it fucking happen. Well, my argument is that it might not be stupid because there are more stupid things you could do with nuclear weapons.
Like blow up people on Earth. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Okay, so next week is going to be colonizing space 2, where we get to have more fun with our ideas and go beyond.
Further and more spacier.
More spacey, more fun, more. But this was good. You guys were great tonight. Thank you. Sorry I wasn't so great on the topic. I kind of thought we weren't going to do it tonight, so I didn't prepare. And
I think we're good. Bit of wavering, but mostly on topic.
I enjoyed your wavering. I know it was wine inflicted, but it was still fun for you to waver. You were great.
I mean,
tonight.
I'm going to waver wine or not.
Waver wine or not. This was great. So thanks again for listening. We don't know how to say goodbye. So we forgot. Oh, this is what happened because we didn't prepare. This was what. No. I have to do it.
It's like a radio show. You don't have to prepare. You just talk about stuff.
I was like, this week in space news.
That's something you want to talk about. What happened this week in space?
Oh, I didn't get to freaking plan it. Like last week, somebody mentioned the eclipse earlier in the stream. I mentioned that on the last podcast. I gave you guys a heads up about, but this week I'm not prepared. All I can tell you is like what, that NASA canceled the cargo launch, who cares, and Daredevil solar craft survived second close to fly by over sun. Well, actually, that's kind of cool. They are doing this, I don't know a lot about, but I remember when they said they were launching this probe really fucking close, like the closest we've ever come to the sun surface They're doing that right now.
Oh, I remember reading
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. And the Daredevil solar spacecraft has survived its second close flyby of our sun, and this will enable it to get better images and data and whatever it's doing, whatever the fuck it's doing, of our
It's
sun than we've
studying the
ever had.
sun.
Yeah, and we kind of need that because that's important. Bread Dog says the best space news this week was the first sections of that new map of the universe came out. It's ridiculously amazing. Red Dog, tell us more. Again, yeah, you're right. There was more imagery coming out from... You're right. Oh my gosh. See?
I mean, that just means, what, like potentially hundreds or thousands of galaxies, and it's like, okay, that's like unfathomably far away.
Yeah, but some beautiful photographs. He's right. James Webb Space Telescope discovered 2 galaxies forming breathtaking cosmic lens. Sunrise yeah, there's a whole bunch of shit. But that partial solar eclipse is happening for free online tomorrow if you go to space.com or wherever you want. Just saying, guys. Like, you can see it on TV. You don't need to go outside. You don't have to go outside, guys. Yeah.
You probably should, though. It's not
Really?
a bad place to go.
I don't know. I hear it's not so great. Yeah, there's the images. If you're really into astronomy, the images that they've been getting with all those, with the telescopes have been freaking amazing and beautiful. And I know that the colors, blah blah blah, but there's like some amazing stuff we're missing out on. If you're into that stuff,
you have to take infrared and gamma spectroscopy to get a good picture.
Exactly. Right. That's how it works. There you go. We will have a solid map in a few years, says Red Dog, and they are going back over each section dozens of times, so the map is ever evolving. Yeah, they're finding a lot of stuff out there. So yeah, I wish I had been more prepared with space news this week. I'll just next week I'll just be more on the ball. No,
gotta go off the cuff.
No, not with space news. I liked how it did it. I mean, we already know that the astronauts landed. Like, all this is now I can't do it. Oh my God, I found it. I found your article 3 weeks ago. I'm going to read it for Brad. I got to read it for Brad. Moon mission ends with private spacecraft on its side, unable to recharge batteries. The company Intuitive Machines was the second this week to attempt to put a privately built robotic lander on the lunar surface. This is from March 6th.
That's good.
Yeah, and
the company's going to the moon.
It did not sink. Yeah, it winded up on its side about 250 meters from its intended location.
Hey, it's still landed on the moon, though.
It was the second time in less than a week that a private spacecraft has reached the lunar surface, but unlike the first landing, in which a robotic lander built by the company Firefly Aerospace, love that TV show, touched down successfully. Oh, so Firefly did great.
Cultural reference. Sarcasm.
Firefly did great, but the Intuitive Machine fell on its side. I'm so sorry.
Hey, put up your hand if you've built a spacecraft that landed on the moon. Oh, wait, sorry, only 2 companies? Yeah.
Yeah, but it landed on its side. It's like, oh, look at it, it's there forever.
That's not a fault of them. That's a dynamic of space exploration, is that shit's going to happen. Kind of like how Apollo 1, all the astronauts died in a fire.
Well...
But we still went to the fucking moon.
And the moon, they are looking for the possible presence of water ice below the surface of the moon. Scientists think water ice may be relatively abundant at the lunar south pole. Water is considered a critical resource for future crewed missions. You won't just have to drink your pee, guys, particularly for potential long-term stays. So this was the second moonshot for Intuitive Machines. It made history in February 2024. Oh, there you go. To land a commercially built spacecraft on the moon. However, that lander, called Odysseus, they spelled it differently, similarly wound up tipping over on its side after landing. No! They landed on their side twice. Oh no, it was still considered a success because it was the first time an American spacecraft had touched down on the moon in more than 50 years since the Apollo 17 mission in 1972. That's good. So, good for them being the first American spacecraft on the moon in over 50 years. Sad that both their little lunar thingies are laying on their side. There's 2 of them on the moon, just laying on their side. Brad,
No, yeah, I hear you.
Think of how sad that is. It's not just one, but two, and they're like, they're not, probably nowhere near each other, and they can't communicate.
It doesn't really matter if they were, because their batteries die.
I know, it's so sad. I wonder if they're like, oh no. Oh no. What if the one's battery only died like right before the other one landed? Or right after the other one landed?
So.
like this.
The batteries die pretty quick.
Wally 2. No, that's so sad. Anyway, Red Dog said, I want to hear some crazy space news. My birthday starts at midnight, and I'm always kind of felt like I was the center of the universe. So yeah, well, good job, Red Dog. Good, happy birthday. There, happy birthday. Oh, they landed hard. Yeah, look, I can't talk. I'm just thinking of the poor little space landers.
I'll be right back.
Oh, I thought we were going. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. We'll go again.
We can go. We can leave. Oh,
I have to go now.
Yeah, oh, your planet needs you. Say it. Say the thing.
Yeah, I have to go now. My planet needs me.
There we go. Bye. See ya.
Thanks for the chat, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
See you next week. He's
gone. Okay, now that we're alone, what would you like to know of colonizing? It's too late, Chrono. You're too late. He's gone. He's gone. The episode's done. You missed it all, Chrono. You could have contributed, Chrono. I know you contributed before and you had a lot of good things to say. And it's too bad you missed the whole thing. You probably could have kept it going. Probably it would have been an even better convo. It wouldn't have died out like when Ark left. You would have contributed, helped Brad. Yeah, you're too late, baby, as you said, Chrono. You're too late. You came too late. That's too late now. It's too late now. Too late to turn back now. No, that was good. Thanks, guys. He'll actually see. I didn't know if he was going to come back this week because of the previous week being kind of, we don't know. But he did come back. So next week is Colonizing Space 2, as in we get to get freaky and scientific. We get to go into our fantasies about warp drive and stuff, guys. We get to go beyond what this one was, which was much more practical based, but still, we're not there yet. Bon chance. Good luck. Yeah. So if you go back and listen at any point, like during the day or when you want to fall asleep and you want to hear Brad's soothing voice, I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you for tuning in. For those who enjoy Brad, please leave comments, because then maybe we can keep luring him back in to talk about space, because he really does like it. You don't want to miss that, Red Dog? Yeah, next week will be good. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though, to about 10. I don't know how we lasted this long, honestly. So 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Times on Fridays, as long as it's going good, and if he continues to show up, I'll be more prepared next time. So to give you guys that are still here the format, what we wanted to do was tie it into Helldivers as well, but meh. I got the burp from peppermint tea. We didn't really need to, but if you guys want to, you totally can. I mean, because that's kind of where I like the imagination we've done in the lore. But if you want to keep it on space, that'd be great. Next week we get to go into sci-fi movies and all that, because of the fact that warp drive and TV shows, because of warp drive and all these various ways that we could colonize space that are beyond our means and ideas right now. That's all sci-fi. So we're going to have a good time with that. I think we would. And I know there's a lot of nerd lore, nostalgic for films. Oh my gosh, think of Armageddon. Oh my, why am I thinking of I'm thinking of Buscemi on a rocket again. I don't know why. It's second time this week I've thought of Buscemi on the rocket. I know that was to prevent an asteroid from colliding with Earth, but I'm still thinking of Steve Buscemi on a rocket, okay? Don't judge me. All right. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'd go back and point out best times to listen, but it was probably early on. He cracked open a bottle of wine, so he was pretty funny. I just kind of let the thing die a little bit. You know me, I'm a bit bad at that. So thanks again. Sorry you guys missed it. Glad to have seen you guys, and have a wonderful evening. I'm totally not going to be back on playing GTA later. Nope. I got a life to live. Totally not going to be playing video games later. Take care, guys. Thanks again for watching. And thanks again, Brad. And thanks again to everybody in the chat.